see. We got some video going here. We got some audio going. All right. Here it comes, everybody. Open your hearts and your minds to what's about to happen in 3, 2, 1.
Relax. No harm will come to you here.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Core. It is Friday, June 2nd, 2023. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. And it's day 2 of Diablo 4 being in the wild, at least if you have early access. I don't even remember what day. What's the date everybody gets it? I don't remember. Is it the 6th?
It's like 6/6/23.
Okay. Like next Monday or Tuesday, I think, or something. Whatever it is. Yeah, because Sunday's the 4th, because I know that because of a thing, and then Monday 5th. Yeah, so 6th. And they went as close to the number of the beast as possible, that you could do.
2/3 a beast.
Yeah, 2/3 a beast, none the wiser, is the old phrase. We're all here. Here's a little bit of setup. Bo, this entire game, is going to be continuing his journey to 100. He is going for a hardcore race to 100. If he is now, okay, so I got some questions about this.
Yeah.
If you are number, what is there like a ceiling to
so
this?
the audience knows I'm literally playing right now and streaming it to the show.
Right.
I can't stop. We're in a race.
Yeah, we're in a race. You can't stop.
Although it's the 40+ version of the race where I do sleep at night and eat dinner.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's a race.
Right. And you're how do you feel about the race so far? I feel like you're on your way?
I'm having a good time. It's definitely, a fun way to play the game. We've done a lot of seasons trying to hit leaderboards and stuff. So, I didn't think I was going to want to do it, but I talked myself into it. And a few of the people I'm playing with, well, Lockvine in particular. People are like, it's your thing. Even Crofton was like, I thought you would do that. It's kind of your thing.
It is your thing.
I'm like,
yeah.
And you said the same thing. So I was like, all right, then. I wish I just didn't work the day that it started. I thought I could have a work day and then start at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
But I went to 3 a.m. and I was very tired.
Can only imagine. I mean, look, if we were all, 20-year-olds again, no problem. Let's go. Rock and roll. We can do this.
I mean, I don't feel that bad about it. I shouldn't have had a work day that day. That's all.
Yeah.
But I'm good, man. Like I've been up since 9:30. I've been playing since 9:30. It's 7 o'clock. I think I can probably go to 3 a.m. again.
Yeah,
get a good sleep in. And Sunday, we're level 43 right now. The top hardcore player I think is in the 60, 62 range, something like that. So that's the top 1%. We're trying to be the top 1,000 to get a name on that little statue. Maybe. I think our odds. I think there's a lot of people playing, and I don't. We're trying, but I'm keeping my expectations realistic about
top
it.
Top 1,000. Okay, so that's the number you got to be in to be on there. And it's the statue of Lilith that's in town, and that'll grade it.
The statue of Lilith. And I think that's worldwide. So, everyone's concerned about the U.S. or the NA streamers, but I'm like, Korea's probably going to have all 100 or 1,000 names on there.
Sure.
They got a good group of people playing video games there. So,
yeah.
But you never know.
Never know. Well, I think you're going to do it personally. I think you guys will hit it. You'll be there. You'll be immortalized for all time, all digital time.
Maybe not. Either way, it's fun way to celebrate the release of Diablo, to play it to death for a few days, and as long as we get 100. It's not about what we earned. It's about the demons we slayed along the way,
Right.
Exactly. But also it's good to earn the thing you went for, if you can. Yeah. That'd be great.
Well, plus they're literally a death away from a reset. Every time somebody dies, that's it.
Has anyone in the team died, or just everyone's fine? No deaths.
Come close. There was 2 of us playing at one point, and we got butchered.
Oh no!
That's one of the biggest fears, is that the butcher can appear anywhere, and the butcher slaps real hard.
Yeah.
And it was intense, but we handled it. It wasn't close. But earlier today, we had a pretty close one. You get these little things where everything's kind of going smooth, then all of a sudden your health starts to go down real fast. And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I've built so defensively on Barb. I have Iron Skin as an oh shit button. There's a mechanic called Fortify that provides extra healing. I've got tons of sources of barrier. I'm not doing that much damage. I'm very defensive. So But even with all the defenses, there's been some scary moments.
Are even your DPSs aiming to be a little more protected than normal? Like they're favoring
everyone
that?
here is playing like,
Yeah.
you read those build guides on YouTube, and it's like, yeah, these are people. I mean, some of them are actually playing hardcore, so I don't want to include everyone in it. But a lot of that stuff is like, yeah, when you're not worried about death, you can, build for the most output. But
Yeah. Oh man, I cannot imagine like doing like a glass cannon type build if you're a sorcerer or something, and then
we have a sorcerer, so I'll introduce the team. So I just want to shout them out because 24 hours before this thing, I was like, I'm not going to do it. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's do it. But I want to do it in a group to maximize XP, and it's just fun to play with people. And 3 of our listeners volunteered like their whole weekend. I think one of them is probably going to be in trouble with their wife long term.
Long term.
Yeah.
That you
so
phrased
good.
that long term.
Yeah.
Well, because I know what it is. I've been there where it's like, he was going to play Diablo during the week, but this your streamer podcaster guy you likes playing this weekend, and you get to play with him, right? What am I, chop liver? Maybe something like that, right? Like,
Sure.
I'm just like, I hope they're okay.
Yeah. I hope so too.
I told her, I said, tell her thank you from me. That's Lockvine, who's a listener.
He's great.
To tell her thank you from me, and also Diablo this only happens once every 11 years. So marriage is every day; it's forever. Like you'll fix it. If we only get to do this once. And so, anyways, Ziggurat, he's been around a lot in the Frog Pants community,
Long time.
and we've got Sean Obi, who I think you've probably seen in various chats. He's a Frog Pants community member too.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the over 40 gang. I think we're all over 40, and
even better. I love it.
40-year-olds.
Bunch of working dudes, all just trying to make life happen, and they're all playing Diablo together. It's great. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you in particular, John. I know John and I have both expressed excitement.
Sorry.
Don't die, dude.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about not dying.
Well, see these little rocks. These rocks appear and they clamp you to them, and then they spawn syrup or whatever damaging shit underneath you. And if you get stuck in it, it's bad. Anyway, sorry.
Syrup. I love it.
There might be a bit of that in the show.
No worries.
Sudden, unexplained swears. I already told Bo before the show started that more than anything, my number one is that I want him to get his name on the statue.
Of course.
That's
what we want.
Top tier, that best case scenario, that's what I want.
Yep.
But if that's not going to happen, the next level down is I want him to die during the show.
If I do it on purpose, it's not going to stay sweet for you. Like, it has to be real. Right?
Oh,
it has to be real. Right. Yeah. We'll know that it's real. And I don't want it to happen. I want you to live.
I totally want you to live. I don't want you to die in this. I don't want you.
There's no way I was ever going to do this. So I just get to live vicariously through you and tell everybody I know, hey, I co-host a show with the guy on that statue,
Yeah, same. I want to be a part of that in that way. I just want to know you. And here's the other thing. If you hit 99, so this to me is the scariest part. If you died now, okay, 40-something levels lost. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sleep it off and you'll do it again. 99 levels, though? And then death? That is just too much for my heart to handle. I can't deal. I can't deal.
Well, I mean, he'd be, especially if he was streaming when it happened, you'd be seeing a lot of him on the internet. That's for sure.
I wasn't really in a state of mind to do this if I hadn't played hardcore WoW for a week leading up to this. So I've lost 3 warriors so far. Speaking of dying, I gave up and I'm playing a mage. And you know what? It's so much easier to play that game as a mage.
Oh, really? Mages are doing okay in hardcore?
Yeah, you don't gotta like walk in and hit people and hang around and like take hits and like learn to use weapons and shit. You just spam Frostbolt, and run away and have like all kinds of tools to run away. I mean, you're squishy, you can still die, but it's hilarious how much more money you get. You don't pay repair bills, and how easy it is to kill things. So, but I think dying a few times got me used to the pain a little bit. I was like, yeah.
Also, probably prepared you a bit just for the whole concept again of like a hardcore run of something, right? Like, I don't know.
I think what really did it is like I was like, I hate bragging about this because it sounds so lame, but I was like, the 250th person to kill Malthael on Reaper. Like, it's not first place, but it's like What on
It's
hardcore,
pretty good.
not just on softcore. It's like, oh, I actually made it then, and Diablo 3 Reaper was every big as launch as this was in its time. So I don't know. I think then I was like, maybe I can do it. So we're trying.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on
We're
it
out
throughout
here.
the show.
Yeah.
And for those who tune in, worried that we were going to do nothing but Diablo talk, there's more to today's show, including this quick story I need to tell
we
you
want
guys.
your impressions too, right?
Oh, of course. But I got to tell you guys a quick story. All right. This is embarrassing as hell, but it happened to me, and this is as good a show to share it on as any. I got that little handheld Ambernick, right? And we've talked about that a couple weeks ago or last week. I think we sold like 80 of those that night. I'm so pissed I didn't do a thing.
So
Yeah,
many.
we lost a lot of money on that, man.
Yeah.
I swear to God. Sorry, not that we want to make money off you like that, but
Ambernick needs to send us free stuff or something. I don't know what.
I got so many messages. My Evernick's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
nonstop. It was nonstop. I know how many. I don't even want to think about how many we sold. But anyway, I'm doing the whole fiddle around with the OS. I'm gonna have garlic on there. That's an OS, not the flavor.
Good to clarify. I knew that, but good to clarify.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a bunch of like tweaking to it. Anyway, so I've been messing around with. Where did I just put it? That's how small these are. Is I never know where I put the damn things. But I had an micro SD card that's gone missing now again. Oh, there it is. So this exact micro SD card, right here. Now this is a SD adapter. The micro SD is this little guy right here.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So he goes in there so that I can plug this into an SD adapter, and then I can do stuff on the PC and copy stuff around. These micro SDs are so damn small. This thing's like 100 and no, this is the 64 gig. I don't know where. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have the 64 gig one, and they can, if you're not being dexterous, you can flick these and go, shit, that's it. It's gone forever.
I like that you chose the word flick.
Yeah, it's just gone and never going to see it again. That's really the risk you run when you handle one of these at any given time of the day. Well, sure enough, I'm fiddling with this. I pull it out too hard. Flick, disappears. Just gone. It's not the floor. It's not on the table. I can't find it anywhere. It's not on my shirt. I'm shaking everything. I checked under my hat like a dummy. I'm looking all over the floor. Nothing. I'm like, well, I guess I don't have that SD card anymore. Good thing I have a backup. Now, here's what's funny.
So did you really lose one?
Well, I'll explain. So that was yesterday early. Last night after logging out of Diablo, I'm going to bed or getting ready to anyway, and I'm upstairs, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm wearing these shorts that I like because it's hot. It's a little bit hot. We're not turning on the AC yet. So I'm just like, I'm going to wear those. So I go to take off my other pants that I've been wearing, and right in the center of my underwear sits a micro SD card. Right down there.
What?
Now
It was in your taint?
Yes, it was down there, down under, just hanging out there the whole day. I mean, it probably worked its way down there throughout the day because there's no way it went directly there after it flicked out of my hand and I got lost. But what probably happened is it just went over here somewhere and then got caught between the belt and the pants. Somehow worked its way in there. I walked the dog, came back. It's probably just sitting right there the whole day. The best part about it is it totally works. It's still fine. But the adapter's mad for me putting a dirty, taint-ridden freaking
Man,
thing.
move over Neuralink, eh? We got Taintalink over here.
So anyway, just be careful with your SD micro cards. They're bitches.
I like that you said that and you aggressively
Flicked it
You're like,
again.
Careful with it.
Flick it again.
How did it get in your pants?
I don't know. I honestly have no answer for you.
Like did it slip from your
How
hands
tiny it
into
is.
your the space between your shirt and your belt buckle and
The only thing smaller than this is the phone SIM cards. That's the only thing tinier that I've ever handled before. And I got to quit touching it.
How did you
Yeah.
get it in your
You're like,
underwear?
look how easy it is to lose.
Anyway, it was real stupid, and I felt like an idiot, and I laughed out loud in the bathroom. My wife's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I'm not even going to tell you.
That is quite a place to find something like that. I'm sorry. It's very funny.
It was
At least
warm.
it didn't fall in the toilet.
No toilet. But it was warm.
Would've been
It
bad.
was like you could actually detect
Well-
heat by holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't plug it in right away. I gave it I let it cool off.
He gave it a minute to recover.
Were you tempted to wash it? Because
All I did was
I guess it's your own taint, so it's not this gross. But if it was someone else's taint, you'd definitely want to wash it. But that might not be a good idea because it's an
yeah. I mean, I admit
SD card. It's not made for washing.
it's not like they always say taste a switch cart because they taste bad, so little kids won't put them in their mouths.
Nope, nobody says that.
Guess what? I also have a new SD card that you do not want to taste right there.
Yeah.
That's your taint card.
That's my taint card, micro taint card. Anyway, that was a fun experience.
By the way, on the taint note, not to make everything about Diablo, but it's unbelievable the amount of enemies that are named like taint or like tainted hoodlum or tainted man or tainted axe.
Yep, they're all tainted.
Breath.
Yep, everything's tainted. Right.
There's even guys with the last name of taint, like taintworthy and shit like that. Like I'm serious. It's not a joke. Like you'll see how many taints there are in this game. Anyway.
Oh, I have one other. Well, you know what? We'll save it from when we talk about Diablo because I got one more thing. I got another thing to ask you about your current level that is not obvious at mine. So we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. All right. Well, it's not all Diablo and taint cards. It's also more than that, and we're going to do it now. We kind of know what happened with Redfall now.
Oh no.
Sort of. I mean, I don't know if we really know because I don't even think.
Well, I didn't really look at the show notes, so you'll have to explain things to me.
So, I mean, this is a report from Jason Schreier.
Yeah.
He has a history, very accurate history.
He gets the scoops. He tends to get the scoops.
Gets the scoops. Nobody read the article because it's on Bloomberg and you have to subscribe to see it. So some other news outlets that pay for a Bloomberg subscription wrote up their own pieces based on it, and that's what we're going to talk about now.
Yep.
Because nobody's paying for Bloomberg.
No. So you want to give the short of it, John? What did he dig up? Because it seems, I don't know. To be honest, I heard it and went, that sounds right.
Yeah, I mean that's the reality of it. Is it's something where even if it wasn't coming from the most credible source, because first thing I read was just from a news site I had never heard of before, and even though it was a news site I didn't know, I went, oh, that sounds right, because it sounds exactly like what you would think, and it is basically a case of prior to the Xbox buyout, they decided they wanted to make a multiplayer arcane game. That was the direction that was given to the team, and had a lot of people go, the hell is that? And had people, they were known for single player, very narrative story games, had people leave the team because they didn't want to work on a multiplayer arcane game. They had a hard time getting talent because they are another developer that is paying below what typically pay rates would be for those positions. And so it had a very troubled start when Microsoft acquired them. And this was kind of your big headline. There was a lot of internal hope that Microsoft was going to cancel the project.
Oh, so it was already underway. That part I didn't understand. I thought it happened as Microsoft was taking over. I guess it was close.
No, so that was one of the things that I wondered was, okay, well, what's Microsoft's role in this? Because especially as we listen to things like the merger that's potentially coming up between Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft and all of that, you do have to kind of wonder, like, okay, well, what's going to happen when they take over? How does Microsoft handle these studios?
Yeah.
And that was something that, you definitely wondered about. Like, they owned them. This game's bad. They have a history of good games. Is this Microsoft's fault? And it turns out, in a weird sort of way, it kind of is, but not in the way you would think. So basically, they were kind of hoping that Microsoft would come in and help them out. And what ultimately happened is Microsoft came in and went, "You're Arcane. You got this," and went completely hands off. Yeah. And just was like, no, you guys make your game. You guys are great game makers. Make it. And
Which
so you have a bunch of people going.
It's what we all want, right? Help. It's what we all ask for. It's like, hey, be hands off. Let the artists and the designers do their thing. Like in this case, it turns out it was a huge mistake, but
yeah.
But that's what we think we want them to do, right? Is not
right.
Yeah.
And so Microsoft ended up giving them a little too much freedom, and you found out that like there was maybe a lot of hope on the team that somebody was gonna send some help, because it sounds like they were understaffed, sounds like they were having a lot of issues, sounds like they had a lack of vision, they had people leaving, and then the hope was, well, maybe Microsoft will help us out, and Microsoft didn't. And that was actually mentioned in the Phil Spencer interview.
Yeah.
He did talk about not giving them the level of help that they needed, and seeing that too late, that they just let them do their own thing, which is also interesting because in that same interview, Phil Spencer did say that that is not what they're doing with Starfield, which is kind of an interesting thing to say because it's like, well, what are the problems that Starfield's having?
Yeah.
Then good that you guys are being more hands-on.
They're
But what
probably
are the
playing it.
problems going on over there?
Yeah.
The issue there to me is they're probably playing it because that was my number one thing is like if Phil played it, he wouldn't approve it out the door. But like if it's like you said, they're like, do your own thing, release it, we're good to the point where we're not even going to test the product ourselves. Then that is on Arcane.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
somebody there, they have their own quality standards. They don't have to rely on Phil. Like if I was Phil, I'd be so mad at them right now. You know what I mean? Although it's his fault too. Like it's Microsoft's fault for not testing it before throwing it out the door and sampling the product.
Yeah.
And letting it through, and then it's Arcane's fault for letting it out the door and not going to Microsoft and being like, "Yep, this is a failure." Like, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is something we should be learning that Microsoft should have learned about.
The train is crashing and everyone's
when it
blaming.
was coming
half
out.
the people aren't paying attention, and half the people are blaming someone else, and
Yeah.
not taking responsibility.
Yeah, it's an ugly deal. I don't know what the solution is. The idea of them coming to them in the first place and saying make an Arcane multiplayer shooter without like what even is that? Like there's no definition. What does that even mean? They don't make multiplayer shooters. They make
I guess I call into question the independence of a studio if they can't pass. Like if it truly is as independent as they say, they agreed to make the multiplayer for them, so they agreed to do it. But you might also say, well, yeah, they made the choice, but are they going to say no to Microsoft?
Well, Microsoft isn't the one who told them
Yeah,
to make the
Microsoft
multiplayer
wasn't
shooter.
there.
They were
Yeah.
already making it. Microsoft,
Oh,
they had already decided. Someone there, some leadership person, decided that was the direction they wanted the next game to go.
Yeah, this was before that acquisition. Then the acquisition happened. They were knee deep in it. Microsoft's like, you're Arcane. You're like one of the jewels in the crown of the acquisition. We feel pretty good about you guys. Just keep on making games, and took off. So
it's
in
not
a way,
that Microsoft has no culpability in this, but it is interesting because I think it's easy to make the assumption that like, oh, they came in and pushed a product that was bad, or that they ruined it, or they tampered with it. But it sounds like, according to this at least, that was not the case. That it was a troubled project, and the issue is they didn't offer the resources to help fix it before it was too late, and like now we're putting it out.
yeah.
I'm personally of the mind it's never too late. Like I do think at a certain point you have to say like, we need to protect our brand. We can't put it out like this. You release one of those oh so popular apology JPEGs on Twitter, and you say we're going back to the drawing board, and then you're Microsoft and you throw those resources behind it. I have no doubt they knew prior to this game coming out that it was a lemon. I have zero doubt. Now, they might tell you like, oh, well, it was too late. But to me, there is no too late. You do what you need to do to put out a good game.
Yeah.
I think it's worse to do stuff like that because it's reputational harm.
Yeah.
To the brand and the company, and they can save on marketing. Marketing is like super expensive, right? Isn't it? Like,
yeah. I don't know how much they did here. They did a lot of.
You take a bath on a game that doesn't come out rather than suffer reputational damage and pay twice as much in financial penalty.
Yeah. How's that going there, by the way? I see, but okay.
I'm in the Onyx Watchtower right
All right. And is this a repeatable dungeon you're doing? Just curious.
No, we're doing strongholds because it's not really mission like campaign content.
Yeah.
And we gotta, they open up dungeons and shit, so they're just a little dangerous because there's elites and high level dudes,
Right?
Which on hardcore is rough, and I need some gear upgrades for sure.
I just watched you get hit really hard. All right, we'll keep checking in on
Scott's
that.
on the edge of his seat. My only sad thing is I was gonna point it out and I needed to pick a good time to do it, but now Bo has corrected it and I'm a little sad. Is you could tell earlier the volume was a little high on what he was doing, so he actually had that field reporter tone whenever he talked.
No,
He
I
was
was
doing
yelling.
just a slightly louder than normal talk, where it was just sort of like, "Yes, Scott, I'm in the field here, outside the gates of Tristram, and
definitely got that
demons."
feeling. Yeah, we're here at the scene of the crime. We know that we know a lot, but like you definitely took on that persona. I hope that deepens as the show continues today.
Well, yeah. Mainly it's out of anxiety over trying not to die, depending on what's going on my end.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that I'm calm and perfectly okay the whole time. That's my goal.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are rooting for excitement.
No, I mean, I'll take whatever. Ultimately, we want you to win. Secondarily, if you died, we just wanted to be here. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All
Just like if I died in real life, I'd like it to be here on a core episode. Just
Like,
right
you
here on the air.
That's awful because I wouldn't know what to do, and then I'd probably get canceled because people would be like, "You see that clip where Scott dies on the
know
show,
what to do.
and John just looks awkward and then hangs up the call."
Yeah. That would be,
We don't have
that would be terrible.
We don't have a
dude.
good
You wouldn't
exit
do that.
strategy if somebody on a stream dies. I don't have a good plan. Like if
I don't know what to do. I would
Yeah,
be like,
you should
maybe
give us Kim's number, maybe.
Wait,
Like,
I don't
we should
mean
give
just
us
me
other-
though.
we
If
should-
one of you died, same thing. I'd be. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
what
should
I'd
have
do.
them. Every workplace I've been at has an emergency call list. We should probably make one. It's only been
yeah.
how many? It's been almost 10 years.
Mhm.
No,
Working on it.
we're close to 10 years anyway. So we should have an emergency call list, guys.
2014, I started doing those
I think we
NVIDIA
started
things with John.
2015. We're at 8 years.
Yeah, but that stuff I did with
Eight?
John with NVIDIA, that was 2014. And
Oh,
if I
yeah,
count
that's
before
true.
that, we were rating before that, but like content, 2014.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think I've been listening to you, Scott, for like 15 at this point now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've been listening to
Something like
myself
that.
for way too long. Way too long. All right. Well, let's get to what we played. Not, of course, just what we played, but what we're playing, because Bo's playing it right now. Both John and I wish we were playing it. Everybody in the world wants to be playing it, and a whole lot of you are. And successfully,
Especially
I might add.
PlayStation 5 owners.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. That's a weird. It's kind of outside the game glitch, though, right? It's like a weird.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. Ziggurat told me. So it must
It's
be
hard
true.
to say who's. Aren't both of them blaming each other to a degree? Like,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it like this is a weird thing going on Blizzard's end, and Blizzard's like this is a weird thing going on in the PlayStation Store end? But
Yeah.
either way,
Blizzard acknowledges the Diablo 4 PSN issue preventing access, but they haven't really said whose fault it is or what's going on. It basically
It's
is
a big
saying,
conspiracy, Scott. It's Microsoft that's trying to. It's retaliation for Call of Duty and all that.
Final
"Oh,
Fantasy.
great,
Yeah.
wonderful." Yeah, I when I heard about that, I was like, "Oh, there's problems," because so far things had seemed really good, like super
For an
solid.
online, always online game, I cannot think of a smoother launch than what we've seen with Diablo 4.
Hell
Not to
yeah.
say it's been issue free, but I logged in with barely any queue and I was able to play, and I never once got. Well, no, that's not true. I did have one disconnect and I had one crash.
So I've had
and
none of
that-
that so far, but I haven't played
I've-
quite as long as you, so that's one thing. But like,
Um,
I think the worst thing I've seen was a less than a minute queue when I first got in the game, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I had a couple minutes at the start, and that was it. And so, all in all, you know, for anybody that's ever done an MMO launch or remembers Diablo 3, holy shit! Like, this is a big difference, because let me tell you,
Huge.
Diablo 3, Bo wouldn't be playing this game on stream right now.
Nope.
We'd be sitting around talking about what was it, Error 34?
34, 37, something like that. It was in the
Or
30s.
something.
Yep.
Yeah,
It sucked.
weeks of that.
Yeah, that was bad. I think they really prioritized that for launch. I think that was an important thing for them just because of that history. They did not want that to come back. Failures on Blizzard's level of notoriety become memes for all mankind forever. And they don't want that. Like no one will ever forget Error 30. Well, I guess we forgot what number it is, but
No,
Error
Well,
30,
it's a
whatever it is.
number. I don't remember. Now.
Yeah.
Oh, I found Brigandine Barding, guys.
Who's that? Tell us about
For
it.
my mouth, I got a
Who's
cosmetic.
that?
Woo! That's awesome. Sorry.
Wait,
That was a good.
Shouldn't you have mounts by now, by the way?
Yeah, I got mounts, but I found some barding for it.
Can you mount after
Not
this
this
group?
moment. Just hang on. I'm fighting marauders.
Yeah, after this group, mount up. I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen anybody mount anything in the game.
You get it at the start of Act 4, so you know how long. It takes a while.
Yeah, because like level, what is it, 25 or something? But is it story
You were
gated
like
too?
30
It's
or
a.
40.
I think it's like story gated in
It's
Act
story
4,
gated.
right?
Yeah. Act
Oh.
4, beginning of Act 4. I found a
Okay.
pale tongue too. Man.
A pale tongue.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a
look
tongue
at you.
that's just
There
been
you
out
go.
in the
Looking
sun,
good,
too.
dude. Look at that.
Oh,
you
and
and
look
your
at what
horsey.
you're going to give me a few seconds.
Yeah.
Watch this. Every class gets a smash, jump off the horse
nice.
and attack.
Every
Oh,
class is different.
nice.
That's cool. I think I knew that, but I hadn't seen it. That's awesome. All right, that solves a problem there. Diablo 4 is out and seems to be successfully out.
Like most stable Blizzard launches.
Yeah.
That's what we were kind of saying. Like,
Yeah.
I have a bit of rubber banding, but mostly I have nothing but compliments for my hardcore experience. It's fine.
Yeah, I haven't even seen a rubber band yet. I'm sure I'll run into it at some point. And the one area that I had a glitch in the beta, I didn't have at all. A lot of the glitchy stuff from the beta was gone. It's polished as hell.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing.
We've had a few bugs where we finished killing a boss, but it wouldn't give us credit, and we had to do it a couple times, log in, log out. That's happened 2 times.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Very minor. Yeah, nothing game breaking. It's game breaking, but we were able to fix it. The other thing is if you play hardcore, there's a special elixir you get called what's it called? Weak elixir. No. Wait, I don't have one?
They're consumable, so
Oh shit.
if you drink through it, probably
I
drank
might
through
have
it.
accidentally consumed it. I have to go make one. Elixir of Death Evasion. It's cheat death. You drink it, you get death evasion for 30 minutes. But the game gives it to you right at level 1, right? Like at level 1, the recipe drops.
Yeah.
Which is fine. However, throughout the whole game, if you don't have one in your inventory, the game will keep dropping it for you. So, like Ziggurat he'll just drop like 50 recipes. Like here, he's dropping them on the ground now.
Oh my gosh.
Like he just keeps picking them up because it keeps dropping. It's like a hugely annoying bug. Like I got one in my inventory because it'll just keep dropping if I don't keep it in my freaking inventory. It's so annoying.
Weird. Well, pretty
Anyways.
minor stuff though, considering.
Yeah, all said and done. That's kind of funny. It's meme almost. But,
Yeah. My quick impressions, just to throw it around the table here a little bit. I did less beta stuff because I wanted to save it. I didn't care as much about the rewards as I did poking my head in there and going, I like this, and then knowing that I was going to like it, and then just patiently waiting for June 1st. So that's what I did. And I probably only played 5.5 hours so far.
And you didn't know beta, right? Like barely any.
I did some. I didn't do none, but I did some. I didn't go I didn't finish Act 1. And
I remember you played a bit. I
25.
remember you saying, yeah, it's good. I know I'm gonna like it. So that's it.
I tend to be that way with all betas. I really just don't play on betas. But today, I will. Well, it's after. I'll finish it after the show. I've done most of the work on it, but I've got my Steam Deck all ready to work with it, which I'm very excited about. So
Yeah, one of our players is playing on controller as well.
Oh, nice. In fact, that's the other thing I was going to say. People have been talking about it in the chat a little bit. I may as well make a mention here. I realize there's still a weird tribalness about keyboards, mice, and controllers and things. I am using controller on PC for a reason. The reason I'm doing it is I'm going to end up with this game on probably Series X, possibly PS5, depending on which one I end up getting it for. And I'll be playing it on my Steam Deck. All of that will be shared content, shared save, shared everything. And I want shared muscle memory. I just want to kind of be the same across the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump back and forth. And I think the controller integration, as I said back in the beta, I'll say it again, I think is extremely good this time around. They really, really nail it, and it feels great, and I'm super happy in there with it. So that is the way I'm playing, and I'm having a great time with it. I started with Necro. He is level 17, 18, something. Not super far. Did a couple of dungeons. Haven't seen the Butcher this time. What else? I'm impressed with everything about it. It's polished as hell. The voice acting's great. The story so far is good. these flashback dream moments that he has when he finds all the skin petals.
Yeah.
I love how they handled that. I think it's very cool how that stuff's handled in game, and I'm just having a great time. It's just Diablo's back, and it just feels great. So I have nothing bad to say, and I'm not that far. Maybe I get to Act 3 and go, "What the hell is this?" But I don't think so. I have a feeling I'm going to be enjoying it all the way through. And also, by the way, I'm not looking at any kind of build guides. I want to experience talents for the first time with the Necro, and I want to do that organically and change my mind and switch things around as I go. That's how I'm playing the game, and I'm not doing any kind of hardcore anything. I'm just going to build this character out. I'm going to hit level 100 with it, and I'm going to see what endgame looks like with that, and then work on other characters from there outside of the campaign. But I'm loving it. It's so good. John, your take. Yours the one is I'm most interested in, not because I think we all are enjoying Diablo, but I know Bo is clearly immersed in it. He's up to his neck in it. I knew I was going to be loving everything about it, but you've held some skepticisms.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about how all that stuff's holding up on the vine there. What do you think?
Very much. So I have not gotten past what was available in the beta. I'm taking my time. I'm going through very slowly. I'm listening to all the dialogue. I'm reading anything that I come across that's a ready, although there's a shocking amount of like purely like stuff that you would normally think is going to be just something you read. Still has a voice actor tied to it reading it oftentimes.
Right.
So it's actually kind of nice to have, but so I haven't seen much beyond the scope of what was there in the beta. The store is in there. That's something that obviously a lot of people are concerned about. You wouldn't know it. It is not being aggressive with pop-ups. This isn't like Diablo Immortal where you get done with your first dungeon and it convinces you or tries to convince you to spend money on best deal currency or anything like that. It is a menu on the home screen and it is a menu on the menu screen. Now they do the closest it gets to being intrusive is it does do the Discord notification icon that like, hey, there's something new over here that seems to always be up, even though I have looked at the store and nothing changed in there. It still kind of flags it as here's something of interest, but it is not hard to ignore. To be honest, and the stuff in there, it's hard to say. I've kind of always said when it comes to the microtransactions and stuff like that, you're going to know if you're getting taken advantage of. I'll tell you the prices are very high, but whether or not the armor that they're selling is cooler than the armor in the game, we're going to know that by the end. I will tell you that some of the armor they're selling looks an awful lot like armor that I have found in the game.
Yeah.
Like I was looking through it and I was like, oh, what's there for the rogue? And I saw something and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a cool plague doctor bit of business. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. I found armor for the rogue in game that looks like a cool plague doctor bit of business. So it is not a case of all the cool stuff, at least so far, is hidden in the store. And it is purely cosmetic gear that is in there right now. Obviously, all this could change, but right now, store was one of my major concerns, and so far it has not been too intrusive or too problematic.
Yeah.
The other thing that was a major concern for me was what is the multiplayer component going to do, because I very much like a solo Diablo experience. Not all the time. I do like to play with friends as well, but for me, and I know you're this way too, Scott,
Same,
where it's
yeah.
like I want to go in, I want to just zone out, and I want to do my thing and just play the game by myself. And even though there are other people running around, I have found that the game is very intelligent about where it makes that happen. And it tends to be at very logical points and at places where you wouldn't mind seeing other players. Or I have even found myself thinking, boy, it sure would be nice if somebody else would come along and help me with this. You
Yeah.
get in a big fight
Sure.
with a boss monster, they put a time limit on something. You're like, come on, where's the other people? You could come lend a damn hand, people. Like, you can be around. You should help.
Sure.
So I've actually found myself, instead of wishing I didn't see other people, I found myself more wishing to see other people at times, which is the right side of that to be for somebody who was concerned about it.
Yeah.
So I will say this game is alleviating kind of all my concerns on that front. I'm still not the biggest fan of the washed out art style for it, but it is not so terrible that I'm hating it. It is noticeable. I don't think it looks particularly great, but I it's not so bad that I'm like, oh, this game is so ugly. Like the game looks good. It plays very good. It plays like Diablo. So there are some little like nitpicks that I could throw out. I wish gear was a little easier to show whether it's good or not. Like it does that thing of flagging gear is better simply because the armor class is higher. And it's like, come on, in this day and age, you don't have a way to more intelligently label gear to show what's better or not. I'm also a longtime user of the overlay map in Diablo games, which this game does not possess, and it seems baffling to me that they haven't done that.
It's a little awkward and needs improvement.
I don't mind it because it gives me the option to put a pin down, and if I see a big open area I haven't explored yet, I'll pop a pin down, and then I will go explore everything leading to that. I
agree. That's
me.
great for the open world when you need to get from point A to point B, and I think that's a decent middle ground. But if I'm exploring a dungeon, I'm not dropping a pin in a dungeon. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want that map to generate and not have to stop, tab open, look at the map, look where I need to go. I just would rather have it be on the screen. So these are things that could be easily fixed. These are things that are not deal breakers for me. It's not like I'm not going to play Diablo 4 because the overlay map doesn't exist. So they're tiny things. I'm playing a rogue is what I landed on. Big shock to everybody, but I'll say this. So one of my big complaints coming out of the beta was that I didn't think melee rogue was very fun. I'm playing a melee rogue and I'm having a great time with it. So I don't know if that's a result of class tuning and changes or if it's just it is working better for me than it was in the beta, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a great build. It feels very bursty. And yeah, the game's just killing it. It's hitting on all those Diablo notes. I think it's going to get even stronger once I get out of content I've already seen because unlike Scott, I did overplay the beta a little bit. So right now, like even side quests I'm doing, I'm thinking, oh, I saw that. But it's really solid, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's great. It's Diablo, man. I feel like it's ambitious as hell. I think the reviews are indicative of what this thing is. It's a beast, and it's more ambitious than it even felt in the beta. And part of that was the beta had big walls in it. You'd go to the main map and it would say, you can't go up here and do this yet. You can't go over here and do this yet. Like there's a lot of these like markers of a game that's not quite finished. And to have it be done, even though I am not far enough to see everything yet, it feels like I have got a ton of shit to do. And
I gotta say, the map is huge.
Yeah, it's
gigantic. As huge as we were expecting. Like it even with the horses, it just feels like there's a lot of terrain. Like, and one wonders what they'll do to add on to it eventually to make it even larger, potentially. Like, just based on how things sort of look, there's like dead ends and stuff, and I think those don't get filled in till later. You know, if like in each new season there'll be a new quest and a new area, but there's a lot going on that map.
Yeah,
like you're absolutely right. There's a lot to keep someone busy playing this game.
Tons of stuff. So, what would you add, Bo? I mean, you've played the most, and you've seen the most. I mean,
I've been very tunnel visioned on the event, so I haven't really been I've been skipping all cutscenes. Even though I'm in Act 4, I have no idea what's going on in the story because we're racing through it. And like I have an idea, but it's still like honestly kind of up in the air. But I would say like this definitely has, if you've played Lost Ark, it's definitely like that kind of overworld versus hitting dungeons, except less annoying collecting. Like the collecting's reasonable in the way you'd hope for a Diablo game. You know, just collecting is like killing all the dungeons and doing fun things, not stupid Makoko seeds or whatever. None of that shit. The altars are the only thing, and those are actually fun to get. But also, it's the set pieces that I've experienced are good. I don't think they're as creative or out there as Lost Ark, but overall, like I'd say, it's a lot like that. And if they do plan on supporting it long term, one can kind of hope that this game will actually see a lot of content down the pipeline. I was kind of like last week, oh, this game's going to be dead in a year when sales don't do good, but I think sales are going to do pretty well. Looks like everyone's review scores got bumped up, and like I said, it's a solid 10 of a video game. I don't know if you like video games and it's 2023. Like, obviously, you could always ask for more, but I don't really see how you could ask a company to do better than this in the ARPG genre, even if it isn't for you or there's stuff you don't like about it. It's like it's a full effort. Like, just you can appreciate it as like a really good effort to make a solid video game. So,
well, what I also
Play
think
it.
after seeing what I've seen, what little I've seen in 17 or 18 levels, is how much potential there is for the long tail. And it feels like a lot of stuff has been considered. The fact that you're going out and clicking on stuff and going, oh, this rock opens up and gives me something I can build something out of, is a very early experience in the game. And you realize, oh, okay, so the crafting is deeper. How things will work in that regard is deeper. And also when I go to my first town and I talk to the I can't think of what you call them, also the blacksmith for the first time. And you realize, oh, I don't have to go through a bunch of progress to unlock what he can do for me. He can just do what he does for me. He can take my trash and turn it into items, or into stuff I need for later, mats and whatever. He can repair right now. He can do all these things like right now. Just go ahead and do it. It makes those towns feel more lived in. It makes it feel less like, well, Tristam's just this little hub where you go and burn all your goods. It just feels like everything is living and moving and happening, and that means that the game's future is a lot more of that as they keep building on the game.
One of the things I think, I don't know yet for sure, for a fact, and I don't want to lead myself into false hope, as is often a trap with Blizzard, because it's so good, and you have all these dreams about the future that don't come true. But Path of Exile, very much, I think it only had, when I first played, like 3 or 4 acts, and they're up to 10 acts at this point, right? And given the way the game's played out, I don't know for sure yet, and when I finish and see all the content, I'll have a better sense maybe, and we might know soon enough with Season 1. I have a feeling this is like a World of Warcraft situation, that the full game is not here on launch, that like there might be acts in the future that are added on that are important to the overall story. And I just say that based on the pace of what's happened and what to expect from a Diablo-like game, right? Every mainline Diablo game, you fight Diablo, and I'm not sure if that happens. Going to happen right away at launch. I don't know, and I've kept myself spoiler-free on the story for the most part, so I didn't read reviews.
So are you since you're this
But
far
I kind of
along?
think there'll be more story content to enjoy later, I guess is what I'm saying.
How much of
I
this?
mean, I hope there is, to a degree, although that, like, it depends on how it's executed. Like, there's multiple ways of doing that, and one of those I hate, and one of those I'm okay with, and I'll tell you when I get to the end. But that can be.
They
a
want people to
double-edged
buy those
sword.
battle passes, John.
I know.
Yeah, they do.
I think if you wanted to make the strongest case possible to get people to buy battle passes, you don't launch with your whole game. I think that's silly.
You think that's
Eventually you'll get the whole game, and you'll get you never have to buy a battle pass.
Yeah,
you
but
don't-
if they do that, my review will change.
I was gonna say
But yeah,
John's tone.
I will
change.
go from very much into this game to very much not into this game.
Yeah.
It just depends how it feels. Like there is, and we've talked about this a little bit. There's the
What if
World
both
of Warcraft method of telling a story, and there is the Final Fantasy 14 way of telling a story. If they do the World of Warcraft one, you're gonna hear a lot of complaining out of John. They do what Final Fantasy 14 does. Fine by me.
Sorry, what's the difference? Like, don't they release story in the in updates as well?
They do, but the difference is when you buy the game, you get a complete story. It completes.
Okay, so the base game is still satisfying.
Yes.
So what
You're
if that
not
happens
waiting
here?
for months on a cliffhanger to find out? Like the premise of Wrath of the Lich King is to fight the Lich King, right? So when you if Wrath of the Lich King was a Final Fantasy expansion, you would fight Arthas most likely It isn't always this case. Sometimes things
Yeah.
happen, but most likely you would be fighting Arthas at the end of the base game that you bought and paid for. And then
Yeah.
there would be hanging threads, like maybe you would have gotten a hint about weird stuff happening in Ulduar, and that would be your first content expansion. So that stuff I'm okay with. But if I feel like I bought a game, especially a $70 game, more than that because I'm playing early, and I didn't get a complete story, then I do have a problem with that.
Right. Okay. All right. I have a feeling it might be along the lines of World of Warcraft, but I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to make anyone feel something based on conjecture. Like I said, I've been skipping all the cutscenes, so I have zero clue actually well, I have a clue, but I have not a lot of clue about what's going on with the story. It's just pacing wise, it feels like pretty epic in scope, and I'm in Act 4, or Act 5, sorry. So I'm thinking there's only 5 or 6 acts, I think, and maybe there's more. I don't know.
Are you worried
I'm
that you're
getting
going to burn out on
yeah.
it, though, a little bit with all you're doing? And not...
I'm not worried about it because I've been enjoying hardcore WoW, and I'd be lying to say if I wasn't still thinking about it, honestly. So if I get tired of it, I feel like hardcore WoW has been an enjoyable game to stream. When I stream this game, I don't really interact with my chat that much. I find like that's kind of a fun part about WoW.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be sad, but I'm not worried. This game's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Do you think that, when you get done with this,
Yeah.
For good or for bad, for weal or for woe, when you get to the end and you say, well, now I'd love to know what the story was about, is it going to feel good to go back and do that, or are you going to be YouTubing it?
Right now I would tell you it would feel good to go back because I'm really having a good time playing the game. But I don't know. If it becomes one of those like Path of Exile, log in every 3 to 6 months and finish the game again, I may want to do other things with my life, given how short it is, right? It's
Yeah.
like, and particularly Baldur's Gate comes out in 3 months, and I've got 3 play sessions of that scheduled, one with you guys, one with Mike and Crofton, and a solo one at minimum. So, I've got other things to do, so I don't really want to come back to this game, I think, that often. But I'm not mad that others would, I guess, because that happens with a lot of games, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, this, I guess what I'm saying when I asked you the question in the first place was just, I went out of my way, having played so much Diablo in my life, I went out of my way during the beta to not overdo it, and knew that, all right, I'm locked in, so I'm just going to play this when it comes out. And I didn't want to do like we did with Overwatch, where we were just like, oh, we played a lot before that thing launched. We were beta testers extraordinaire, and that was part of my falling off of that game, at least initially. And so I'm not saying these are the same things. I feel like this game has a different kind of trajectory. There's a lot of differences here, so I'm not really comparing them apples to apples. But anyway, I hope
I feel like I definitely want to play a second time, Scott, because I need to smell the roses. Playing the way that I'm playing, I'm skipping a lot of cool stuff, and it hurts a little bit.
Yeah,
because there's actually some pretty cool shit in this game, and I'm like speeding through all of it, and it, it's its own kind of fun, but I have to play this a second time.
Yeah,
so, at minimum, I'm getting another go out of this.
Sure. Well, I really hope that next week we tune in and we go, yeah, we still like Diablo a lot, and then we don't end up smacking against a wall going, oh, we've seen it all, we've done all we need to do, we don't like it anymore.
Yeah, you gotta find out. So far it's good. And I mean, here's the truth, is even if I get to the end and I go, oh, they really shat the bed with the way they're doing story rollout by the end, I'm probably going to get what for me would be $70 worth out of the game. You know, like, even if I'm ultimately left disappointed by something, could be anything.
The rogue's pretty good, right?
Maybe don't even like Endgame. I'm having a good time, and I've already invested a ton of hours into it. I've spent more for less. So it just sort of depends on how you feel about that. I don't think there's going to be a world where even if I don't like decisions made, I go, well, that was a complete waste of money. I know I like the game enough to not feel that way about it.
Right. Well, more on it soon. It's just great. I don't know about you guys, but I'm playing after we're done tonight.
Hell yeah!
I know you are, Bo, because you got to you're on a race, and I'm rooting for it. And if you guys aren't watching him over on Bo Schwartz on Twitch, that you can see his progression with his team toward this amazing goal, which I believe he will hit. Go long enough, you're going to get it. Real quick, just a note to the chat. We have like a total spammer in the chat, and what he's doing, I've banned him like 8 times. He's coming off of like 10 accounts. I don't know how he's doing this, but
what's this spamming? I'm not watching. I'm too busy playing hardcore for your spam.
He's
Well,
just
now you're giving him encouragement by talking about him.
Well, I'm just gonna ignore him because it doesn't bother me. But I just wanted to say I'm sorry, Chad. I can't. If the guy's got 100 accounts, I don't know how you stop him. I've seen this before. It's a weird thing. Anyway, chat rooms.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're a hell of a thing. All right. Outside of Diablo. Diablo's all I've thought about, but outside of Diablo, I did play some other stuff. All of it before Diablo became available to me. So I'll start with the one that I found the most delightful this week, and I hope other people give it a shot. It's a game called Batboy, Batboy, Batboy. Now,
no licensing issues on this. It's not owned by DC.
No, which as far as I know, it's not. And the reason it is in the game, he's not a Batman type character. He is a guy with a bat, like not a living bat.
It's not that weird for me to say, right? There's a Batgirl. They don't call her Batwoman. Is it Batwoman or Batgirl?
They have Batgirl and Batwoman. Those two different people.
They didn't think to trademark Batboy while they were at it.
It's a good point. I don't know honestly
We're
how they got away with it.
Oh my god.
I don't know how they got away with it, but it's this weird little game. I would like you to think about what Shovel Knight was, which was like this throwback NES looking thing. And everyone loved Shovel Knight because it was, in some ways, it was like, here's some modern ideas, but this is how it would play in 1987 if you had it on a Nintendo Entertainment System. This is a lot like that. And man, I had fun with this. This currently is sitting at overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. I think it deserves it. I played enough to know 2 things. One, it's very fun, and the bat mechanic is very fun. You're whacking stuff with your bat all the time. Plays like a bit of a, I don't know if I'd say Metroidvania, maybe more, I don't even know. Mega Man, maybe, I guess.
Okay.
But it's got some interesting puzzle mechanics. You use the bat to do a lot of stuff. It's hard as nails. And that's the part that is most throwbacky about it. It feels like a game that was hard on that in the 8-bit era, and you had to keep whacking at it to beat it. I am not great at this game, but I can tell as I play it that it's good, and I really like it. So again, this game is called Batboy. It's worth playing. You're a guy with a bat. You're punching dudes and hitting them with a bat. That's basically it. And you're platforming, and you're finding secrets, and doing cool
upgrades to your bat. Like,
yeah.
What's the bat part of things?
The bat part is just a bat. You just got a bat.
Oh, okay, it's Batboy. I feel like the way you describe it, maybe it has like a kick-ass aesthetic a little bit, or that kind of attitude about it.
Sort of. I don't even know what to compare it to. It's got a 90s
it's like
kind
Shovel
of thing.
Knight, but instead of Shovel, he's the bat.
Yeah, think of Shovel Knight,
right.
but here's a guy with a bat. It's definitely that sort of thing. And I think it does it really well. This boss he just beat on video that we're watching right now, that took me way longer than this guy. So that tells you a little bit about me, I suppose. But it's available now, Batboy, on Steam. I think it's coming some other stuff if it isn't already. Let's also talk about a little game called Miasma Chronicles, or Miasma. I don't know which way you say that. Does anyone know how you pronounce
Miasma? I think.
I would say Miasma.
Miasma. Okay.
I wanted to run, but Miasma.
I wanted to be the fastest kid in school today, but Miasma. Sorry, I got to pull it up here. This is a game that I think you two would like, with one exception, and I'll get to that in a second.
My mom asked me why I don't really quite know how to formulate it. Gosh dang it.
I was like, hold on, guys. Hold on.
Yeah,
I got it.
My mom asked me what hurts, and I said miasma.
Oh, miasma.
Miasma.
Wow. Wow.
I
There
got
you
you.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are
I
you-
got there. I got there.
You
everyone.
got there eventually, and I'm still not sure it was great, but I appreciated the journey. You guys remember that mutant game with the life-size looking frogs and ducks and stuff? What was that called? Shit. Hold on. I'm going
Frogs
to try
and
to...
Ducks, Life-Size Mutant.
Yeah, hold on a second. It was called Mutant Year Zero. There it is. Mutant Year Zero. Do you remember this at all?
Oh,
Road
yeah,
to
yeah,
Eden.
yeah.
Okay, I'll put that up for a second. It's basically like sneaking around this weird irradiated post-apocalyptic future, but you're doing it in the form of like a team that's like one guy's a duck, like a mallard duck, but he's got legs and he wears clothes and he's just like a full-grown human-sized duck. And then there's like a frog and there's a pig and they have different abilities or whatever. It's this company making this. Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden was the game. This new game is called the Miasma Chronicles or Miasma Chronicles. And it starts with a kid and a robot. And you start going through this destroyed old world and fighting shit on your way in XCOM 1 and 2 style. Turn-based, hide behind shit, percentage hits, beef up your dudes at the base, that kind of stuff, right? Very much one of those games. Here's what I'm concerned you might not like, because the combat feels great. And this runs great on Steam Deck, runs great on PC. It's a great game. Had a blast with it.
Make your own characters, or is it like named characters?
To start with named characters, but that may change because I'm not that far.
They decided to name this main character Elvis.
Yeah, his name is Elvis. And
Elvis is a great name.
his
I know an Elvis.
His robot is named Diggs. And his robot's jive talking. And Elvis is, I need to get back to my mom. Just a lot of really bad lines like that.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it, and I should have brought some audio. I'm a little bummed out that the story sounds like it was written by a dog. It's just kind of bad. Or at least it just comes off as childish a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. Whereas everything you're looking at and you're doing is kind of badass and cool looking. And you got to deal with this miasma is actually this thing that's infecting the world. You're trying to avoid it and stop it and make it collapse. And you do that throughout the story. You get better at doing it. Like there's a lot of really neat concepts happening. But when they talk, the robot's like, hey man, there's another enemy up ahead. You want to see what we can do to take this guy on? Shit, just this kind of stuff.
Oh boy.
And then Elvis is like, oh, I don't know, I just kind of want to find my mom. I don't know, dude. I'm not doing a great job of explaining it.
Story not doing it for you.
No,
like.
it's not.
Okay.
At least not so far. And it's in early access. This call
Just
could all
because he's
change.
kind of like a wholesome young duck. Was he a duck or a?
No,
frog?
that's the last game. The other one I was talking about.
He's a human.
He's a human. He's a human boy.
Oh, we
with a
switched from
robot.
Mutant Year Zero.
Yeah. So we're talking.
I'm getting real confused.
It's
I
all
was
right.
like-
You're playing Diablo. It's how it's supposed to, but it's what we
Okay,
expected.
sorry.
Anyway, so it's fun, and the combat part of it is the funnest part. So I guess what I would say to people is this: it's an early access. Be warned that the story feels a little bit weird, but when you get into these combat scenarios, it feels like Gears Tactics. It feels like XCOM. It feels like those games, and that's a good thing. I enjoy that part of it a lot. They clearly know how to make those. But just like Road to Eden, it was a little too funky for me. It was like, all right, I'm supposed to take this duck seriously? Name a duck you ever took seriously. It's not possible. Name one. Name one.
Scrooge McDuck.
Can't take him
Yeah, you didn't
seriously.
take him seriously.
Yeah.
No, he was definitely serious because he was more serious than Donald.
Well, that's a fair point. But Donald Duck, yeah, but that's a scale of suck, right? Like,
Oh, not suck. Scrooge McDuck's awesome. Are you kidding?
I
Scott,
don't-
you need to watch the new DuckTales. You're going to change your tone on everything.
I am going to watch that because I promised I would, and I just haven't. But I will get around to doing
You
that.
should watch it. It's genuinely a fantastic cartoon.
Yeah, I have no doubt about any of that.
But Scrooge McDuck is a serious duck,
Yeah.
and he's cool. All right.
And Duck. Who's the duck? Who's the Marvel Duck? Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck?
It's not a serious duck at all.
No, not a serious.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. Most ducks not serious. So I could never take that game as seriously as
Darkwing
perhaps.
Duck, he's not serious.
He's not serious.
He
this-
wants to be.
This guy and his robot so far, they look really cool. There's nothing wrong with how they look. Like, look at that robot. He's like a trash can with a bunch of shit on him. He's awesome.
Elvis doesn't look like somebody who should be looking for his mom.
I
Elvis
know.
looks like he can take care of himself.
I know. That's my whole point. He says things that make me think he needs more. He needs additional help from his children or something, or from his mom. I mean,
Yeah.
he is the child. Sorry, chat room's really distracting me. I'm going to shut that down.
Is
now.
he an NPC that helps you, or you play as him?
You play as him, so you are both him, and you can switch between them at will. So you can be the robot. Well, during combat, you are both of them because you're gonna, you're taking turns.
Yeah,
At
I
turn-based
feel like
combat.
the role playing or the story or whatever. Like
Yeah.
you're on his team.
Yeah, so when you're running around the map, you can just switch between who's the lead runner. But when you're fighting, you have fight order,
Party
yeah,
rules.
initiative, all that stuff. Yeah. So I have okay. So where I landed on it though is I'm not sure about what they're trying to say story wise, but I really do like it mechanically. So I think I'm going to keep at it, or at the very least watch it throughout early access and see how it improves. There's that game. I also played lots of little games on my handheld. Did I bring it down here? No. Anyway, because all of you went out and bought an Ambernick, either the one we talked about or a higher end one, and we didn't do affiliate links. You're all welcome.
I bought one.
I
That's
know.
how bad it was.
Yeah, you
it.
got one. John
I
got
show
one.
and tell, but I'm busy, so I'll show it next week. I
Oh,
guess,
and
but
he knows who he
it's over
is,
there.
but somebody was very kind with a gift. I just want to shout out to that guy. He was really nice to give that to who he gave it to. In my case, I was too busy trying to format cards and drop them in my pants and stuff, but I did get a chance
So awesome.
to play here and there, and I really like that device a lot. It's just a great little whip it out and go for it and play some, I don't know, whatever. Just
Even my mom played it and loved it.
yeah, it's cool, right? It's a cool little thing. It's built well. It's just a nice little device. And
Yeah, a lot of the small stuff still has weight or size and is not perfect. What can you do? Genuinely tiny.
it's
Like
little.
genuinely an alternative to playing on your phone that's reasonable.
Yeah, with a damn controller that's real.
Like lighter than your phone too, really.
Yeah. That's cool. So I did a bunch of that and then spent a little more time just before the drop of Diablo on Speed Freaks and Bolt Gun. Bolt Gun and I now have an issue with each other.
Oh yeah, I put it.
Okay, is it that it got too hard?
So no, it's that
Okay.
Bolt Gun.
It gets hard.
It does get hard. You're not wrong. Even on easy, it gets hard. Because I went down a notch thinking that might help me. Didn't. But it does have an option where you can turn on, if you're really struggling in a situation, you can turn on, just to get through it, you can turn on invincibility, get through it, and then turn it off again if you want. So there's some ways around it. I appreciate they respect people's time because it does get harder. But that's not my issue. I put it on the Steam Deck and it runs great on there. So I'm like, sweet, be playing this in bed. Let's go, Bolt Gun. And then I started to notice when I let the thing sit, my stick on the right side started to drift. Not the stick itself, but the screen would start going.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, no, we don't. So I push it up again, and then it starts doing it again. So I go into the settings. I'm checking the dead zone. I'm checking all this stuff. I make it a little bigger. I go back. Sure enough. And I thought, is it just this game? Because that's going to drive me crazy to have stick drift. Or is it my machine? Did something happen with the repair? Did I drop it again or bump it on something? Did I screw up something on my Steam Deck? So I loaded a few other games where I knew that stick was in use. Most of the time, like Cyberpunk, no drift at all. Same movement controls even, but no drift. I couldn't even make it drift. I tried.
So the game was drifting on you.
Well, that's what I thought. But then I installed, what's the name of the one we all liked? Wildermyth.
Yeah.
Wildermyth's a good controller game, so I fired that up. And Wildermyth has the drift. So I cannot.
Some games are giving you drift and some are not.
Yeah, two of the games I tried it with gave me drift. Nothing else I tried would give me drift. So the majority are not giving me drift, but that just
Maybe it has to do with where the dead zone is set. Like
Yeah.
maybe for some games that it's where it's sitting, it's registering as dead zone, and for other games, it's not registering as dead zone.
I think
Is
that's
that
what I
possible?
think you're right. I think that's probably right. That's why, and I did go make the dead zone as big as it could be, and it still did it. So it didn't seem to matter how big or small. And the dead zone is showing there's like utility on your Steam Deck that says, here's where it thinks you are versus where you are moving it right now, so you can adjust it. Like it has a really nice way of doing that. And once you set it, it should work. Even with drifty sticks, you can calibrate them to not show the drift because you can change where the dead zone is. and that wasn't working for these two games. So I think it's like it's probably some bug that just needs to be patched. I don't know, but I was annoyed, and I just wanted to throw that out there. And I also played a bunch of Halls of Torment. That game's rad. Speaking of Diablo-like things, Halls of Torment is really good. I've talked about that a bunch.
Played so many games.
I did. Well, these were
this is all before Diablo.
This was all AD. No, I'm sorry.
I was going to say I actually played a bunch of new games too, and forgot completely
before Diablo.
I forgot completely to add them to the show notes because I had some new games too. But
it's easy to have this stuff get eclipsed, right? Like stuff you played just before. It's like poof.
Yeah. Like I played Bolt Gun 2, which I enjoyed immensely, but I would say it has those boss fights which keep spawning new enemies.
Yeah.
But I don't. Can you self heal like you can in Doom Eternal or Space Marine? So I feel like I have to. It's a game
pickups, I think.
Yeah, just pickups.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like this game is like that game in every way except you can't self heal, and I was like, maybe you can, and I'm just not doing it right.
Yeah, there's a real difficulty spike with Bolt Gun.
Yeah,
it went from something that I was like, can you even get hurt in this game? Like for the first little bit, first like hour and a half, 2 hours of that game, I was like, boy, this game is easy. With a capital E, I'm just a dominant wrecking machine. And then all of a sudden on the backside of it, I was like, oh no, this game's really hard. I am sitting at no health and no armor most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely spiked for me. And I had a fight in particular that I just kept dying at. And I had to turn on invincibility just to get everything down. And then I turned it off again. And then I was good for a long time. So I think those moments of like big wave of nonstop enemies until you take down whatever boss it is, I think that stuff just needs to be tuned a little or something. It's just a little rough. But that game's still really good. That shooting feels so good. But I hope
I played more of that too. It's not on my list, but I also played more Bolt Gun.
So anyway, check those out, everybody. John, let's jump over to you, in fact. Let's talk about, let's get an update on the WWE 2K23 Frog Wrestling Update.
Yep, another week, more frog wrestling, more fun times to be had, another big event as the Vile Core crew continues to carry all the gold. But I had a great time with it. We've introduced a new faction, which is the Mod Syndicate, which is run by Tom Merritt, and he is now joined by his two enforcers, Monica Stone, known as a mod at Wicked Kitten, and Tanner Goodman, also known as a mod around these parts. Both of them now working for Tom as his enforcers. They tried to steal the Dragon Beef Championship. You have to watch the VOD to see if you believe that it was stolen. But you can see all that in the link for the gameplay. Like, I actually, for once, Scott, you're not jumping around my stream. That's actually the YouTube VOD. I'm doing a lot better at getting those things uploaded right away.
Nice.
So for anybody that can't be there live, there's VODs going up on the YouTube page to see what went down. And continuing to have a good time. We did introduce our women's division. We had Dear Martha go up against Big Bag Kristen. So Kristen Ashton was our first women's match, and we're going to go ahead and continue to build that roster out.
Nice.
And I'm just excited. I'm excited for all the ways it grows, all the exciting matches. Like, it's one of those things where I'm having to practice my restraint, because I literally just I finish that stream and I go, I'm ready to do another one. Let's we'll have this person that fight this person, and waiting a week is hard.
Yeah.
But that's probably also good for it. So
yeah.
I felt that way about our D&D sessions, where it's like I want to go again, but it's good to have the space.
You got to be able to breathe a little bit, sure.
Yeah.
Like Bo's character right now. Let's do a quick check-in on the ground here. Bo in Diablo 3 here. His character is just hanging out.
We're about to do some prayers here. We're just waiting for everyone's got to join. I don't know where the other two are.
You're praying to the altar. What are we praying to? What are we getting here? What is this? Oh, look at that. There it is. Stronghold conquered. Alcarnus.
We just beat the stronghold. I almost died a few times. I don't know if you were watching there, but there was a witch lady that did a lot of damage.
Really?
I gotta like spend some time doing item science soon because I'm starting to get pretty weak armor wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going good. No death. Almost made John's day, but
All right.
no.
All right, excellent. John Ambernick thoughts, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. I can't wait to hear.
John, you got an Ambernick too?
I do.
Yeah.
I had a kind listener gift an Ambernick to me. And actually, you know what? I need to stop complaining about nobody ever sending me anything now. It's officially over because not only did somebody send me an Ambernick, I got a second offer to have someone send me an Ambernick
Oh,
and
man.
had to say, no, someone already gifted me one.
Yeah.
So
And you know when you say things like "No, I already got that free and expensive thing from someone else," that you got a little privilege, you know?
yeah, then all of a sudden you start to feel guilty, and I'm like, man, now I feel bad for all those times. I'm like, nobody gets me nothing. So that's officially rescinded. I'm good. People have bought me plenty of things. Nobody needs to buy me anything else. I greatly appreciate it though. I love the device. I'm pretty sure my wife is gonna steal it from me while I steal the PS4 for Final Fantasy 16 or the PS5. Sorry, we're up to the 5 now.
Oh, yeah, we're coming. Oh, yeah, PS5. That's soon, too. Like 20 days or something, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I think 18. I think it's
18
on the
days.
20th, something like that. Yeah. That can't wait. I'm very, very excited.
June's
So it's one of those things where it's a great device. There's some weird things that you would think would be on it that aren't. I'll say, which was kind of a weird thing that I've discovered. Now, obviously, you can solve this. It's something where you can put, your copies of all the games you own legally.
Yes, you can carefully hold
well.
these and not lose them and have them fall in your pants.
I can't believe that was in your underwear.
And then I keep touching it. I know, I should stop judging
Also,
it.
I can't believe that after losing it, you have been so willing to keep pulling it out, taking it apart, and showing everybody.
Yeah, and then
you're like,
touching my
I almost
face.
lost this. Can you believe how easy it is to lose this thing?
Yeah, you know how hard it is to lose my taint chip? But here's the thing, though, John. I think I have an answer to your question. The reason the stuff is missing that you're surprised is missing, think about how many of those titles are Nintendo titles.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But also, you're not wrong. There's also some things that you're like, I'm surprised this is on here in a world where all the Nintendo titles aren't there. I'm a little surprised this is on there. Like the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
You think, Nintendo would be real protective of that sort of thing too.
Sure.
But yeah, there's some stuff I want to throw on there for sure. But here's what happened with it. So I'll say this. I got it. I was given a plethora of choices of things to play as my maiden voyage on the Ambernick, and I loaded up Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. And that is all I've wanted to play ever since I started playing it. I'm now 75% of the way through Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. And it's like I load it up and there's all these games and I feel like, boy, I should really play some other things. I've checked out a couple other things. Like I played Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge.
Yeah.
I played that game, and I've played the original Castlevania just to be like, oh, look at this. Which I'm weirdly like invincible in that game, and I'm not 100% sure why. But it's like the Japanese version of the game, and every time I get hit, my character explodes like he's just been decimated by something, but then doesn't take any damage. You can still fall down pits, which is a common killer in that game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Aria of Sorrow is no joke. Probably my favorite Castlevania game. Even over
I'm with
Symphony of the Night, which I know is beloved. That's also on there, so I can play that and see if I really feel this way. But I love Aria of Sorrow so much, you guys,
Yeah.
and it's so good.
We're in full agreement on this point, by the way. Never have I agreed with John more about Castlevania games. I love this one. It's so good.
It's so cool. And I've never seen a game where it's bonus ending. So, a lot of games will have like, here's ending 1, but if you do this, you get a secret ending.
Mhm.
So Aria of Sorrow has one of those. But instead of just like a different cutscene or a different ending, it unlocks like 50% more video game.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like if you do the secret ending, you get to play through the entire castle like upside down or reversed, and there's an insane amount of additional content in the game that it then unlocks for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy how much is put behind that. So
Yeah.
it's
nuts.
just it's an awesome game. It's a testament to how good it is that I have this device that has so much stuff on it, and it's all I want to play whenever I play it.
Yeah, and it's a reminder of just how good almost everything I've been playing on there is GBA games, and just the GBA rocked, dude. That thing rocked. It was such a great little handheld.
This has made me realize that even though there's a lot of these consoles that aren't on this device, and there are a lot of extra consoles that I'm not too worried about, it has made me realize that what I really want, like emulation wise, is I want something that is like in the body and style of either like the DS Lite, probably more the 3DS XL, because I want big. Like I'd like big, nice screens, but like not insanely big, not Steam Deck big.
Right.
There's still like
happy
pocket,
medium.
but pushing the limits of what a pocket can hold.
Sure.
Clamshell, 3DS, something to emulate Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS games. You know, I don't need the 3D, but games from the 3DS.
Yep.
Really, I think that's all I want. And if it can also do NES and SNES, we're golden.
Yeah.
That's really just all I want, is a very easy to access handheld console that can do those things, and I will be happy, because there's so many games on those handhelds. You know, everybody, when you say what's your favorite Nintendo console, so many people are like, oh, the Super NES, you know, the
GameCube, whatever
Wii,
it is,
Switch, whatever. Game Boys have been so good. And there are so many awesome games on the like Game Boy systems that like it's kind of insane. Like one of my favorite Zelda games, this is one that I was surprised wasn't on there. Nintendo was Zelda Link's Awakening DX or Color or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Like Link's Awakening is amazing.
Yeah.
It's an amazing Zelda game. And like just the number of Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, all those games that I just have so much nostalgia for, but are also like amazing versions of those games. There's a lot of them.
Playing
and this is reawakening that for me.
Playing Mario Golf Golf Advance, which is my favorite Mario Golf game. It has a whole RPG like story mode in it, and it's so freaking good. You don't even have to like golf to like Mario Golf. Oh, it's so good. Gosh dang it, you guys. We're probably selling more of these tonight. We still don't have an affinity link, or what am I trying? Affiliate link. Affinity.
I think there's a more advanced version that does do like 3DS, because that's what the second person who wanted to send me one was going to send me. They're like, well, I'll send you the better one that does 3DS games. I was like,
yeah, they've got a whole range. Don't
send me more stuff.
Yeah, they have a whole range of those devices. Some have sticks on them. Like they've got all kinds of stuff. The reason this one's hitting a sweet spot of like, I want to sit down and have 4 buttons and a D-pad, please, and play a thing and not think too hard. Like that's really what this thing's good at, and I think that's why I like it so much. Because
it's very easy to carry around. You said this last week, and to me, it's the big truth. Is like, yeah, the Steam Deck is amazing. I love it, but that is a whole production to get out and take out and play. I can't subtly play it. I don't feel good taking it into the bathroom, because I feel like I've taken a PC into the bathroom with me.
Yeah.
Like it's just there's some weirdness about it that makes it a little less portable, as much as I like it. This, you just feel like you can take it where you want it. You throw it in a pocket, it's going to be okay, and it feels durable and easy to access, and you're going to be able to play some cool games on it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that's why it hits such a sweet spot, which is a hard thing to hit. Other Amber Nicks I've tried that are the bigger ones, they're too big. They're like, well, if I'm going to do that, I have my Steam Deck. I'll do that. Like that's already going to run all the stuff better anyway. So what do I need that for? And then I don't want the little micro one they have, because that's too small and weird. But this thing is just right in the middle, and it's got good battery life, and that Garlic OS. Look, the OS it comes with is not that great. It gets the job done, but there's nothing fancy going on. Go look up how to install Garlic OS. It'll change your life. All right. I wonder how many more we sold tonight. Moving on. Bo, what else did you play besides? First, let's do a check-in.
Yep,
it
cutting
scared
out a
me.
bow in the field.
It scared me. I thought I saw your character was up with a red message, and I thought it was a death message about shit myself.
No.
Okay.
I think Lockvine has logged off. I'm not sure what's going on, but they've been going. He's been going hard at things, so it wouldn't shock me.
Is this the one with the wife that's not loving it?
Okay. Yeah. But he's been, he's been a trooper. He's been checking the map, getting the altars, being a real scout. He's usually the one I follow because he's out front doing the next thing.
Oh my lord! Show me that again. Zoom out.
What's that?
Zoom out that map one more time. Look at this chat.
Yeah, so I'm in like this little town here. It's
Coastal.
like an MMO. Like look at how fucking big this place is.
That's so much.
Like it's nuts. It's nuts the amount of real estate that's in this game. I mean, it's
And that's just overworld, right? It's nothing to do with all the
dungeons. They're like
stuff.
whatever, hundreds of dungeons, and strongholds and world bosses and PvP like for a Diablo game, it's a lot. Because if you just compare to 3 or 2 or 1, you get 5 acts and then adventure mode or something. Like this is like scope is on a different level alone.
Yeah.
Anyways, the one thing I wanted to say that was really funny about this team is we only had 2 people. I only had 2 people, Shinobi and Lockvine, and Ziggurat. He's in Australia, and I like him. We've played with him before. He's a nice guy. He's a lot of fun. And he's like, "Oh, I'll join," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like he's kind of last minute, and he didn't come to the pre-planning. And then we were skipping cutscenes, and he's like, "Oh, we don't want to watch this," but like in an Australian accent. I'm like, "No," like. And then he was like, the way he was saying certain things. So finally, after like 3 hours, I'm like, I said like, "Yeah, we got to get her name on that plaque," and he's like, "Yeah, what does that mean?"
He didn't know.
And I'm like, you didn't know that there's people racing to get their name on a Lilith statue? He's like, "No, are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "What'd you join for?"
Did it to be a good dude.
Yeah, I'm like, I need
hang out with you.
hardcore people. He's like, "Well, it sounded like be a laugh or whatever," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like that's why we're skipping cutscenes. We're doing things fast. We're like, we're taking breaks for like 5 minutes and coming right back and planning to sleep 6 hours. It was just really funny that he didn't know. He's like, "Oh, he's just here for the good time."
Probably
stuck with it. Real trooper.
I was gonna say probably. I mean, now he's in. He's got to go. He's got to go hard.
Yeah, I mean, once you're 45 levels in, you got to do the remaining 55. No, what? 65. No, 55.
55, right?
Yeah. Podcaster math. Yeah, 55.
Yeah. Podcaster math is bad.
We both don't sound too sure.
No.
45, 55.
John will be no help either. John will be no help.
Nope, I got nothing.
Yep.
Nothing for you when it's math related.
We're all
I did
math
play
challenged.
some new games this week, though.
What'd you play?
I just didn't put them in the show notes. So by the way, Street Fighter 6 is out, and I want to say happy Street Fighter 6 Day to Patrick Beja, who tweets constantly about playing games.
Yep.
Man,
there's probably gonna be people that are like, "Why aren't they talking about Street Fighter 6?"
At this rate,
Patrick's not on the show.
at this rate, the 3 most highly rated games of the year will be Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, and Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is getting freaking raves about everything about it, like the story mode, the hub stuff, the freaking I forgot the name of the tournament mode thing. Anyway, people are just raving about it as if 5 was a poof of our imagination. The averageness of 5 is just a long forgotten memory. 6 is like the hot new, can't wait to put my wiener in it kind of game.
Whoa.
That went places, didn't it? I don't want to put my wiener in.
It's fine, I get
Is
it.
it true that it uses
you're horny for the game.
RE engine?
It's
I heard that.
It does.
Very-
It uses the RE, the current Resident Evil engine that is used for all those new RE games. It gets used here, which is crazy to me. But I want to play it. I think it sounds fascinating and seems like much more than you would expect from your average Street Fighter sequel. So
Yeah.
I want to check it out.
agree.
I don't know about this guy on the microphone, but whatever.
But anyways, listen, I played some games.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm getting hit some delirium levels, but 'cause
I'm
I don't
hitting
have a
some
real,
vague
I don't,
levels of delirium.
I don't
here,
have a real
so-
good handle on the conversation, or I just feel like my timing's really off.
Yeah.
But I played some games.
All right.
John, are you done? Maybe you weren't even done yet.
No, he's done.
No, I'm done. I just was looking. I was going to Metacritic to see Scott the
Scott
top
really
games.
threw
And
me off with
he's
what
not
he said.
he's not wrong. Like the top games are Zelda, Street Fighter 6, Resident Evil 4. Like
Yeah.
holy shit.
It's a weird year of really high scores this year. And I don't know what the deal is other than maybe we're just seeing, we're mid-cycle on a lot of stuff, consoles and other things. Games that have been cooking since before the pandemic. Like maybe it's just like go time.
But for sure, the culmination of some pandemic projects have really turned out great, right?
Yeah.
Because with Redfall, everyone's like, "Oh, why are games so terrible?" And it's like, actually, there's some pretty good examples of some solid releases this year.
Oh yeah.
Zelda,
Yeah, a lot of
Street
people want to say,
Fighter,
"Oh, that's what you get for work from
Diablo.
home." Is Redfall? It's like, well, I don't know, man. Diablo 4 was mostly developed work from home. I think that,
look at the whole pantheon that's released and think again.
Yeah. Not only was that game built work from home, it also was built during a really tumultuous time, not just for the world with the pandemic, for Blizzard in general, because all the shit hit the fan with Blizzard while those guys were heads down trying to make Diablo 4. I think it's a minor miracle that it's performing as it is. It's crazy. Anyway, but what else did you play?
Played Bolt Gun. That's what I want to talk about.
Such a big build up to that. That was great.
All right. Okay, give us all your
Fine.
hot
I
takes.
enjoyed it. No, it's good. It's every bit deserves the hype that it has. I think it's a good boomer shooter.
I hate that term, but go ahead.
I know. It's just because
I hate it because it's chronologically incorrect and people only use it because it rhymes. That's it. It's not. No boomers played those games.
Like you got to remember, people get called boomers not because of when they were born, but because of their attitude.
That's my point. Is like if we're going to use it and it's supposed to represent a time frame.
No. Hang on. You guys have that wrong. Anyone over 30 is a boomer. Like
No.
the new nomenclature. No. The way you know the word, it's like what is it like?
You tell me some
Like,
Gen
some
Z's
people,
things.
words have more than one meaning, right? Like
Yeah.
there's bases and bases, which is like multiple baseball bases is bases, but also the basis of your argument is different, and they're written a little differently, sure, but yeah. So boomer to you is like that's a generation. They suck. I don't want to be associated with them. They were annoying, and because they were very self-important and took up all the jobs and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
I'm not a boomer.
No, I know.
And then all
Neither
the
am
people
I.
under 30 now are like, they've taken the word and it just means over 30.
Okay. Well, guess what?
Yeah,
That bites
like,
you in the
that's-
ass when you're over 30. So enjoy whatever the freaking whatever they'll be, Gen Betas or whatever they're going to be called. I'm excited for whatever they call you under 30s when you're over 40 and you're like, no.
They're going to have it worse. The kids are going to call them the incel generation. Don't worry. Don't worry. They got it
It's a
coming.
fair point.
Yeah.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, but Bolt Gun, you like it. It's
We'll
good.
get our comeuppance in 50 or 60 years.
Yeah, it'll all be fine. What do you think of the game, though, overall? You enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I just one criticism would be just like I need some self-healing, man. It's if you're making a 2023 shooter boomer style. I need the self-healing. You need to put if I kill something in melee, I get some healing. Especially with bosses that infinitely spawn adds. It'd be one thing, like in Doom, things don't infinitely spawn. In Wolfenstein, the old stuff, you have your set amount of enemies, so you have your set amount of health packs. But don't be putting hundreds of enemies in a boss encounter and only give me 2 or 4 health packs. That's ridiculous. I need some self-healing, especially in a 40K game. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I tend to agree. I think either that or just don't ramp the difficulty up so much in those big battles where I'm constantly dying. Like, that's not fun. But the game itself, man, the shooting's so good. Oh, feels so good. Love it. All right. What else?
I play a few of the games, but one of them I don't want to talk about because it's annoying.
Oh.
And I just don't have the energy for it right now.
Well, but now we're all very interested.
Orc
what if
Massage?
we promise not to ask follow-up questions,
right.
but you can just say what game?
Yeah, we won't follow up.
Yeah, it was a game called LOT
Okay.
It's
Okay,
just peaked
sorry,
my
I
interest.
asked a follow-up question. I didn't mean to, but I genuinely didn't understand the word you said.
John's follow-up question was
Alaloth.
literally
Alaloth. It's an indie game on I don't know if you call it indie. Gamera Interactive made it. It feels like an indie game. It just piqued my interest. It's a Dark Souls game with CRPG aesthetics. On paper, and even looking at the trailer, it really piqued my interest. But it might actually be good, but there's a lot of amateur shit, and just even from a design standpoint, like 5 million hours of exposition in the beginning, and I couldn't sit and play it. Maybe it's quite good. The concept definitely piqued me, and I was looking forward to having a cool surprise. But I don't think the gameplay was kind of okay, but I don't think overall it was like fully.
Did you call it Amaroth?
there.
Is that the name?
Alaloth, Alaloth.
No, that's if you want to watch someone sit in a hot tub.
Well, it's not. Oh, it's not on Steam. I guess you had to get it separate.
It is on Steam.
Oh, it is.
Alaloth. Let me.
It sounds like a way to keep owls out of your yard.
Yeah, I can't find
Oh
it.
my god, you guys!
Alaloth.
It's really fixated on this.
Look, we're just boomers. We can't
Yeah,
spell.
we're
What is-
boomer
okay, we
shooter
found- There
boomers.
it is.
Did you find it? I can't find it still.
He
The
put
links
it.
in
It's
Discord.
it's ALAL.
Oh, Alaloth. That's spelling it wrong.
Alaloth.
Also, Steam's bad at like predictive text.
Alaloth.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. I think I saw some of this. So Soulsy, right? Souls-like ish, right?
Yeah, it's Souls-like CRPG style, right? Like Baldur's Gate 2 and stuff. Like it looked intriguing me, but the execution is just really bad.
Oh wow. Hardcore.
So I don't want. Maybe get into detail another time, or maybe I'll play it again and revise it. But I don't recommend it.
Okay.
It was a little too. The voice acting was bad, like done by the guy's uncle, I'm sure. The aesthetic wasn't too great, but sometimes an indie game's good. It spent so long ramping up, like to get anywhere. It just failed to hold my attention. I got really frustrated with it, so I don't recommend it, honestly.
Their description is Baldur's Gate and Dark Souls had a baby. That's what it says.
Yeah, you hear that and you're like, damn. So I hope somebody else hears that and makes a better game.
Yeah. It keeps a lot of.
I mean, long term, it might be a good game, but it did not give me a good first impression. I'm very sorry to say. I love the idea, and there's things I love about it. Like the art's pretty good in some places, and it works. They make the control scheme work. It's like V Rising, WASD controls, and you aim around with the mouse and hit, and I really liked it. But I think it's very small budget, big ambition, and it's not. I don't regret buying it, but I don't think I'll play it again.
I just like to remind everyone why I hate Steam reviews real quick. There's a negative one on here. His name is Longhammer. Take from that what you want. His review says this was a great game until heart happened and ruined the game forever with boss mechanics that are 100% AIDS. All right.
Okay.
Well, the A word is a thing in some circles.
Very helpful review that really helped me understand the product and, whether I should spend any time with it or not.
I feel like this Mazda drives like herpes.
Oh, my Lord. All right. There you go. Bo played that, and now Diablo forever. That's how that's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will do some more stuff, including a Dear Martha improv. I don't even know what that looks like until we get there. So
I don't know. I'm figuring it out.
it's going to get weird. So watch for that, and just know there's zero images.
That kind of upsells it rather than downplays it.
I mean, in a way, we don't know this is hardcore mode for you, John. This is like, don't die on stage when we get to this thing. Okay.
Yeah, one life for you.
Yep.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, I've been thinking about it.
Oh, okay. Well, good. You have a good mind. You'll be fine. And then after that, a few more news stories, including how stupid Bobby Kotick is. I can't wait to talk about that for a minute. As well as a patron message of the week, some emails, some other stuff, and finally, sorry, we have a mashup today. Jamie's back. Oh yeah, Jamie's back, baby.
Yes. Woo! That's exciting.
He's got a new one, and we're going to hear it, and we'll find out what everyone voted as far as who they think said the line that comes at the end of it. I missed this whole game. This whole meta game is too much fun. So we'll get to all that in a minute, but we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Hold on one moment. And we're back, everyone. Welcome back to the program. It's now time for us to do this little fun thing we call Dear Martha, and John does it. Today's a little different, but that's all I'll say about it. John, anything else you want to set up before I hit play?
Sorry for it.
Look, it's Diablo Day. It's like Christmas Day. No one gets shit done on Christmas Day, all right? Don't feel bad. It's Diablo. Like Bo says, we only get it every 11 years. All right, here it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit play on this thing, and we'll go. Oh, that's too quiet. Just a second. Okay, now.
My dearest Martha, it's good to talk to you again. Let's just take a moment, because this is usually the time where I tell you what amazing time period I'm in and what periodical I've decided to explore in the history of gaming. I'm going to be honest with you, Martha. I didn't read any magazine. Why would I? Martha, I don't know if you knew this, but I am a time traveler that can only go back within my own lifespan, much like that television show Quantum Leap. There's no going into the future for me. And so, Diablo 4 was not out when I started my journey. It's out for me today. So here I am, in modern times, playing Diablo 4, and not reading about the magazines of yesteryear. I understand this will be an extra big disappointment, as I've decided to play a video game instead of come see you in person. But maybe be thankful that I wrote you this letter. It's fine. Look, if you're absolutely heartbroken, I will offer you this one slight makeup, which is a random-ass Steam review for the game X Slayers. Or Slayers X. I don't know. It's a weird title and it's a weird video game, but here's what I have for you. Best game ever. You can have weapons like the S-Blade and the twin guns and kick psycho butt. My favorite part is the glass luncher. I like to yell, "Eat glass," when lunching glass at dumb psychos, lol. And there are tons of secrets too. Like I found a camp of hiding psychos that said, "Ah, no, don't kill us. We don't want to be psychos anymore." But I did it anyways. And that shows the game asks difficult questions. Like I thought about if people can change, and it's a sign of the maker's life experience. He is 37. A masterpiece in games. Psychos drool, seepage rules. Yours in this life and the next. Harsh screen SO.
Wow. I have to say, after watching some video, this looks like shit.
It's getting good reviews.
Maybe
it's got very positive reviews. It's on, I think it's on Game Pass.
Oh, is it
So
really?
I think you can try this for free.
Came out on the 1st. What a day to release your game, right on Diablo Day. Wow.
Yeah, that's a rough one, man. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
But this looks like utter garbage that's supposed to be garbage. You know, if you know what I'm saying? So maybe it's all right. I don't know.
Oh no, it is on Game Pass.
Is it on
Yeah.
Game Pass? Well, then there's no reason not to try it, folks.
Go try it and find out if it is as good as it is claimed.
There you have it. Do it today. All right. Let's do this now. Get some other news to just rip out real quick. There's an insane Bobby Kotick review that happened, I want to say, with, who was it with? It was with Variety is who did
Variety.
it.
Yeah.
And he did all sorts of stuff. For one thing, he audaciously claimed that sexism and harassment problems were made up by aggressive labor movements within Blizzard to, quote, destabilize the company. He also said he couldn't believe how excited he was about AI-generated content. He says we are hurtling toward, this is my paraphrasing, we're hurtling toward a time where games will make themselves. And I translated that to mean he don't want to pay real people to make the shit that makes him rich. So he can eat a turd, as far as I'm concerned, and I cannot wait for him to parachute out of there.
You forgot one.
What was that?
He also said that the report claimed his farts smelt like lavender.
What? That's not in here. That never happened, right? You made that up just now. Just making sure.
Well, why would I?
Why would you?
Trust us and not support us anymore if we didn't report accurately what's going on with the Bobby Kotick interview.
Yeah, he's he sucks. Whatever. I don't like him.
It is the kind of interview where if you do not care about video games, but you care about being in an industry that makes money, you probably go, man, horrific.
Yeah.
Fantastic. If you're a main character in the show Succession,
Yeah.
10 out of 10 interview.
10,
Way
10.
to go, Bobby.
11
if you
out of
are
10.
a human being anywhere else, it's a nightmare. Like it's a case of it shows that you can just talk business and they just wear it on their sleeve because what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to read context with this interview. Like that's the thing is usually when somebody's being cagey, you have to kind of look for it. You're like, okay, where's the hidden meaning? Where's the secret evil hidden in these statements?
Mm-hmm.
It's just out there. He'll just tell you.
Yep.
He doesn't have to worry about it because he's somebody who literally threatened to kill his assistant and they suffered no repercussions for it.
Yeah. People like that aren't afraid of saying stupid shit.
So go read it if you want to know what kind of a nightmare we live in.
I agree. And hopefully he's out of there soon. System Shock, by the way, also launched and it's gotten forgotten about here. System Shock remake or whatever it's called. The retelling of the original game. It's reviewing real well. People really like it. Their only complaint I've heard is that it sticks a little too close to the original in that it is very hard and kind of obtuse in terms of not holding your hand at all. And
you definitely can tell you're playing an old game. If it's anything like the demo, I haven't played the full release, but I did play the demo for that like series of demos that I played. And it was very cool and like, a nice window into like, wow, a lot of these games had a ton of depth, but it is clunky.
Yeah.
In the way that old games are clunky.
Yeah. They've been very faithful here, it says in this PC Magazine review where they were like, yeah, it's very good, but also exactly what it was. And if that's what you want and have it look better, then you're golden. But if you were looking for some quality of life improvements over the 25 years the game has existed or however long it's been, we won't find them here, they say. All right. That wasn't part of the news, though. Rick the Door Technician has killed Cal Kestis around 500 times. John, tell me more about this. Oh, is this Bo? I don't know who put this in here.
Is it Rick or... It's Rick, right?
Yeah,
Rick. It's Rick.
Rick the Door Technician.
We had to talk about Bobby Kotick, so I thought we'd do something light to follow up that news story.
He actually killed some people?
He's killed nearly 500 people, Bo.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
There is a boss in Jedi
to
Survivor called Rick the Door Technician, and he is a stormtrooper that begins his assault at the end of a very long hallway. He's melee only, so he just charges at you in what can be compared to that Lancelot scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And he dies in one hit, despite having a very large boss bar. However, they have revealed that Rick the Door Technician, at the time they posted the stats, had killed Cal Kestis 489 times.
Wow.
What? How?
Yeah.
I can guess that maybe it's closer to 500 by now. Aren't you a little curious what happens if Rick the Door Technician kills you?
A little bit.
Oh, you think they're all intentional?
Oh, maybe.
They have to be intentional. How else would he kill him?
Well, not necessarily. Did everyone know that Rick the Door Technician was a one-hit death? 489 people? I don't know.
But look, you face so many harder enemies than Rick on the way to Rick that, like, if you can pass all that, Rick should not be a problem.
And you have plenty of warning that he's coming.
Yeah.
Like the bounty hunters are... You haven't played it yet, Scott, have you?
I haven't gotten to Rick. I've played the game, but I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, but like even those... the bounty hunters who like come at you two at a time with like the shocking head things, they're tough.
They are tough, yeah.
Yeah, Rick is not... Like John said, Rick runs at you in melee down the longest hallway in the game. And I went, Rick, the door technician. I think I sliced him once and he fell over. Like
I shot him with the blaster. He didn't even make it the full way up to me. It was the funniest thing. I let him run. 90% of his run, he's just going, while boss music plays. He gets up to me, and it was very Indiana Jones. I just went.
So what's the reference is Monty Python? Because it's not like it's a side thing. Like everyone playing the game will encounter.
You have
Rick.
to go through Rick. Yeah,
he's a main story quest boss. So
yeah.
I just wonder, is it just the Monty Python reference? Like was there another reason to do that? Like it's so.
I think it's just there for levity. Like it's a game. There's high drama in Jedi Survivor for sure, but it's a game that seems like not afraid to poke fun here and there at itself. I mean, the poncho itself is kind of a meta joke within the thing, both where you get it, the fact that it's the pink poncho when you pick it up. And, like they know exactly like, hey, these are things that the audience is kind of into. So
it also
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily Monty Python, but that's what it reminded me of because he runs for so long down that hallway before he's even close to you.
It might also be a very almost statistically insignificant number of deaths or kills because 489. You look at that and you go, that's a lot. It's almost 500 people, but defeats by Rancor, the Rancor boss, 9 million. 19,384. So the deaths by Rick are insignificant compared to any other boss.
I feel like I'm 700 of those Rancor deaths. I died to that Rancor
I've posted multiple numbers on Rancors.
Yeah.
The stupid bite is rough, man.
Yeah.
He's got a wide hitbox on that swipe where he picks you up. I
also thought the game mode choices were interesting. They gave stats on this. Let me pull this up for the chat. Game difficulty, percentage of players, story mode 14.5. That's actually a higher percentage than I expected. Jedi, that's easiest. Jedi Padawan after that, 15. Jedi Knight, which is the middle difficulty, 52.5. That's the default, so that makes sense. That would be higher because people just hit go. Jedi Master at only 14, so lower than story mode, and Jedi Grandmaster 4%. I don't know anyone who did that, but
Grandmaster is genuinely very hard.
Yeah,
like I've been playing on Grandmaster a little bit. And it is.
I think it's the parry window that kind of sucks for.
Because they just tighten
it's
that
hard,
up, right?
but because you see on the sliders where it says you get a little parry window. Because I was like, let me try Grandmaster on the first one, Fallen Order. I don't know why, but. The parry timing window has to be perfect. I don't know. I was like, this isn't enjoyable. I don't like that as a difficulty slider.
How do you feel about lightsaber color? Most popular was white.
That's interesting.
Really?
Maybe proves the power of Ahsoka because.
Ahsoka's big hot right now. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think that.
And it does make a really cool sound. I'll say that. So the lightsabers don't all sound the same, and if you pick the white lightsaber, it sounds really cool. I am a little surprised. I do think it's a little bit on the boring side visually, but the appeal of Ahsoka is certainly there. Bo will be happy that single-bladed lightsaber is the most popular of the lightsaber styles.
Yeah.
Really?
So true Jedis representing. Yeah, it's
there's a lot of Obi-Wan Kenobi like a huge meme.
Yeah, single style 31%, dual wield 29, double bladed 25, blaster 8, and crossguard 7.
Uncivilized. We know who the monsters are.
John
the blaster is the best style, and I will maintain that forever. And Bo, another stat that you will be very interested in.
Blaster, it's like almost sacrilege, dude.
This is a very important stat to you, Bo. The percentage of players who love Turgle, 100%.
Oh,
yeah, hell yeah,
that's nice.
Who doesn't like Turgle?
Nobody doesn't like Turgle. Enemies defeated, by the way. 2.8 trillion. Okay, that's pretty gnarly.
A lot of enemies.
Cleaning up. Let's see. Refreshing the refresher. What's this? Oh, number of times Cal unclogged Grease's toilet. 861,000 times.
That's not that many, man. Go fix the toilet. You get there's gold in the toilet.
It's
or
almost
something.
that's almost $1 million. Well, it's not quite $1 million. It's almost 900,000. It's a lot. It's a fair amount. This one surprised me. Number of players or percentage of players who discovered Cal's poncho. John was just talking about 11.5% is all. That's
Oh, they have
tiny.
the pink poncho. I got the pink poncho.
Yeah, I'm just a little
I am
surprised it
too.
wasn't higher. What else?
By the way, lightsaber color default blue for me. The
You-
percentages on there.
What are you, Luke
The reason
Skywalker?
is because I feel
Bo's
like
like finding a way to play as a human. the
No,
equivalent of
I
playing
think-
a human in a fantasy
I
game.
think
in his
the
Star Wars
lightsaber
experience.
is like they're kind of meaningful. Like it's not just like you'll use any lightsaber in a pinch, but like your kyber crystal like has meaning, right? Like it's important.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that I'm just like I'm Mister like I have a new different color every day lightsaber. I'm like, come on now.
No, your whole thing is like the Army when they say, or Marines or whoever, when they say, this is my gun. There are many like it, but this one's mine. That's how you feel about kyber
I mean,
crystals.
I feel like if the game was like, here's a new lightsaber, you found a new lightsaber, then like it'd be like, okay, like, but it's just like it's a cosmetic table, right? It's like it creates this narrative inconsistency or lack of
Oh, you
continuity
didn't
that
play the
ruins
first
it.
game though. Okay,
But
that
do they
explains.
explain
There
it?
is a moment in the first game your kyber crystal gets destroyed and you go discover a new one.
Oh,
And there is a point where he sits down and builds a new lightsaber, and you get to pick
Well, that's
your
cool.
color.
Like then, and maybe like at the beginning of the game, it could ask you, what
color you made it.
what color is your character? The way you in Mass Effect picked your look and gender and background, like something
Sure.
like that.
sure.
But to just willy nilly change it all the time, I'm like, no. I tried it. I'm like, I feel dirty. I played with a gold lightsaber for a little bit, mostly because I wanted to tell John I did that and make him mad. But I couldn't do it. It's too terrible.
Sure. Are you, by the way, you both playing,
It looked awful is what I'm trying to say. Like the gold one doesn't look good at all.
speaking of,
I hate the yellow one.
yeah, I don't like the yellow. It looks like like a pea stick. I don't like it.
Yeah. The P saber.
Pea saber. Did you both make ladies in Diablo for your first run here? Both
I
ladies?
did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made a lady.
All right. I don't know
My
why.
gender preferences in Diablo are rogue and barb are ladies. Sorcerer's dude. Necro's definitely dude.
Yeah.
And druid is lady.
Check out my emo necro. Hold on a second. I'll put it in the chat. Or maybe I already did, but I'll do it again. This is on our Discord. That's my look at him. He's just like, Dad, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah, you really gotta lean into all that like tattoos.
Oh yeah.
But the options they do give you in Diablo are really good.
They're
too. It
great.
helps.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
And you can change them anytime. That's the other thing I like. I
Yeah,
am not
yeah.
locked on this character. I can go change his hair, his color, his whatever, his gender even.
He looks like the final form of the who's the guy in the IT crowd that's in the room. That's
Oh,
the vampire.
the one that does Bake Off now.
Yeah,
no,
him. He looks like him.
Noel Fielding, right?
Yeah.
I hate you, Dad. You freaking. My friends came over. It was just a little weed. I mean, you just feel like he's complaining to his parents all the time. This guy.
Yeah, Richmond. He
I
looks
love
like
him.
Richmond.
All right. Seventh Guest is getting remade, and it's being redone as a VR
Oh,
experience.
really?
Bo
Whoa,
VR Seventh Guest.
cool.
How you feel
More
about
scary
that?
games, but
It's a reimagining, promising ghostly volumetric video.
okay.
Let's see. Trying to see if it gives us anything else. It'll be released for the MetaQuest 2 VR headset and 3, which has just got announced. Did you see that the other day? They're trying to preempt Apple's event next week.
I saw the meta video that's just like shows you what it looks like. It wasn't much.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was a presentation, but I couldn't find it.
There's not yet. They will,
Okay.
but they're trying to get word out before whatever Apple releases Tuesday. I think is
Yeah.
today.
Well, it seemed strategic that they also released the price because I'm like, oh yeah, $500. It's more expensive but cheap. Good. They're staying on the lost leader train. I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree.
That's good for them. And like I said, maybe Apple will come out with something affordable. My guess, with my bias, just based on my perception of the company, is it's going to be ridiculously expensive. Like maybe also ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, me and
great
Ibit
apps,
were
but,
talking
like,
about this. If that thing is $600 or lower, it's a no-brainer for me. If it's 1,500, which is the current going rumor, that's too high.
1,500 is that's like almost probably 2,000 Canadian. That's a painful price.
Yeah, it's too high. It's like I guess that's
Painful price unless they literally like the apps on there are like it's all down to what you can do with it and what's exciting about it.
Yeah.
Like based on what I've seen in VR, no way anyone should pay more than 1,000 for a headset.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be interesting. So watch for that next week. But yeah, the Quest 3's prepped for this fall, so they're gonna sell it this holiday
When's the
season.
Apple thing? Is it next week?
Yeah, next Tuesday. So I think Tuesday. I keep saying Tuesday, but I think that's right. Might be Wednesday, but I think
Are
Tuesday.
you planning on watching it live?
Possibly. It depends. If it starts while TMS is going, no, but I might watch it after. If you're around, we
I'm
can
off
do like
next
a
week,
thing.
yeah. I'm like,
You want to do it? You want to do a little co-stream? We could do that.
maybe. Message me. Let's see what's up.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done those
maybe
before. I usually have
We
to.
don't do a lot of co-streamy thingamabobberies except when there's video game stuff. I just really into the VR thing, and
Yeah.
we've been waiting years to find out what Apple's doing. So
Apple's fine when you co-stream their live streams. What they hate is when you archive them. So as soon as we're done with that, I will delete it because that's last time I got in huge trouble on Twitch for that.
Really?
I got a strike for it. Yep. It was stupid. I think it may have had more to do with the music Apple played during their event, and that's what got it. I don't know. Who knows? Copyright, dude. It's all left up. Let's move on to a patron message of the week. I put it this part of the show because it just felt like the right place for it. So here we go. This is a question or a statement / question from Danny Danger in our community. It says, newborn platinum corehound. Well, welcome to the platinum level of our Patreon. Thank you so much.
Man. Thank you.
Do any of the core hosts invert their Y axis to aim? I.e. push down to look up, push up to look down. Old school gamer here since Commodore 64, and I have ever since you could look up and down with a mouse or a controller. I've done this. Am I just an alien? Thank you for the hours of entertainment. Go poop in a lake. Don't look at your meatloaf. Peace out, Danny Danger.
I love "Go Poop in a Lake" as a sign off for.
I do too, dude.
It's really good.
I know. I get it a lot, man. Every time I leave the stream, everyone's like, "Oh, it's time for a shit."
Yep. It's a permanent
Yeah.
stain on your life. That's how it's going to go from here on out. Oh, I put you on my. Oh, it's not here. Oh, yeah, it is. Look. I started. I got a new water bottle. Started adorning it. There's Film Sack. There's Kirby and Pants. There's Link, and there's Bo. Isn't that cool?
It's an iconic work for sure.
Oh yeah, it's staying there
Definitely
forever.
the most iconic depiction of me ever put to ink.
Somebody on Twitter said something really funny because I put up a video saying, "Is it weird that I put my own artwork stickers on my own water bottle? Is that weird, like a Mary Sue kind of thing?" And the guy wrote back and he says, "No, but what's weird is having one of them be a semi-naked version of a friend you work with."
That's what I mean. It is kind of weird. Like,
It is a
here's my
little
friend with
weird.
his pants off.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But
Imagine,
anyway.
like I was like, oh, I should return the favor, and I drew a picture of you, but it was like Titanic style, like you were like, slung on a couch,
Yeah.
with just your shirt and your pants off, and you'd be like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah,
anymore.
not sure.
It's weird.
It's a little bit weird. Anyway, as far as this goes, I honestly I think it's different depending on the game. If I play, I'm trying to think of a game that I inverted on. I think maybe mech games I invert camera stuff, but if I'm flying a plane or a spaceship or something like in space or Everspace 2, I can't do inverted. Let's just.
I feel like
Oh,
it's
really?
almost-
I have to invert controls for
I
flying.
can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm trying to think how I do it.
Really?
Hold
So
on.
wait, do you invert by default
Hold on, let me think.
for like a shooter?
Oh no, you know
You're
what?
flying a ship.
No,
you
no, you're
push
right.
Up to aim the ship down.
You're right. You're right. I
But
do
if you're
that.
playing a shooter, up looks up.
You're right. If I look up, I have to have it in my hand to actually visualize this. So okay, so up with a plane that pushes my ship down. Yeah, I guess I do. But those are the defaults, right? It's people that go switch it. That's weird.
Yeah. What was that? What was that?
I don't
I
even
think we
know.
found the frog and frog pants. Everybody
Came from
geez.
way down. That was a.
I thought that was something in Diablo. I'm in the swamp right now.
that was great.
It took
That
John's
was
reaction
deep.
to confirm that wasn't a sound effect.
So why does our brain work okay? Why? This is
It's
interesting.
just habit. It's just habit. Like it's how
Okay.
you wire it up a certain way, and it's muscle memory. Because I'm gonna say inverting the y-axis, even though it's never in the accessibility options, always feels like an accessibility option to me.
Yeah.
Because it's for people whose brain are wired that way for whatever reason, whether it's Commodore, and it's not a lot of people, but it's enough people that it's in like all games, and I don't know why.
Oh, here's another one. Both Mac and PC have a way to reverse scroll. So scrolling, because you know how when you're on a phone, if you scroll down, it's moving the screen down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're using a mouse to scroll down, it's scrolling up.
Yeah.
So it flips it. So a lot of people like to change that default. I cannot do it on a computer that way.
Well, yeah, that's because we didn't. Well, I don't want to make, because there's always going to be that person that's like, I'm 72 years old and that's how I do it. But like to me, we were doing a mouse for a long time before we were scrolling, doing touch screens.
Yeah, that's true.
But you never know. People look at it different ways. So, but yes, I've known people who invert, but I don't.
I can't invert.
I need it when I'm in like if it's not inverted when I'm in a flight type situation. I wanted to say sim, but arcade flying games too. I need to have it inverted for that. But if I'm just running around in a first person shooter, absolutely not.
It feels like trying to learn Spanish in 2 minutes if you don't change it. Do you know what I mean?
It goes back to, do you remember the first time you ever played on the N64 and you kind of didn't know how it worked?
Yeah.
So you were kind of garbage at controlling Mario?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Sure.
how I feel if somebody inverts the controls and I play it. All of a sudden, my character just starts looking down and walking in a circle. I'm like, why am I so bad at this all of a sudden? Like, not a lot has changed. It shouldn't have this dramatic of an effect on me, but it completely does.
Does it change if it's a mouse versus a controller? I'm trying to think if I played that same flight control. So on that, if I push up on the stick, the ship goes down. If I'm on a mouse and I push forward on that mouse,
If I'm looking at the back of a ship and I push up, I would expect the ship to nose down.
I think that's right with me too.
I think. But here's the thing. If there was a reticle on the screen and I was controlling the reticle and the ship was just mirroring it, I probably would then do mouse up to go up.
Yeah. That might be the exception.
It's almost like it's a mental thing on, am I controlling the ship or am I controlling like a HUD element and the ship is going along with it?
Right. Which might be why it's different in a mech for me. Because in like a Mech Warrior game where I'm in the cage,
yeah,
something changes there. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Our brains are weird. Yeah. It's part of why I'm going full controller across all of my instances of Diablo. Is I just don't want to. I don't want to brain fart every time I switch. Okay. Well, there you go. Great question as always. Keep those coming, patrons. You guys are awesome. We now have time for a little bit of correspondence.
That's a good question.
Oh,
yeah. We've been doing it for a few
Love
weeks. Let's
Sorry.
see.
Sorry to react like it was the first time
No.
I heard it.
Whoa!
No way.
I'm in the middle of playing a game, so the energy's a little,
No, I gotcha. I feel you.
Hey,
I'm a little
Scott,
amped up.
read the last line of this email before you read the full email and see if it makes you want to make a choice.
Kristen, aka
No,
Kid
not
Agree.
that. Not the sign off. The line above it.
Oh, love the show, and as always, feel free to read this out loud in the weirdest voice you can find if you choose to do so. The weirdest voice?
Well, John can do good voices.
Do you want to read it out in a voice?
John, let's do a John voice. Give us something that isn't Grandma, that isn't Schwarzenegger, that isn't Martha, or Dear Martha. Give us something new. We want to hear a new material from John and read this in that voice.
Okay.
Well, hi there, everybody. Well,
gosh.
here we go. Just gotta find a voice, and yep, this is it. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, let me read this email for you. Pop back in time 10 years and tell your younger self that Diablo is about to overtake Warcraft as Blizzard is turning into Kermit the Frog.
You got it. You got it.
Wa-
Of course.
Warcraft as Blizzard's premier online RPG experience. What would your past self say?
It's changing every line.
As someone who discovered the Blizzard game sphere around that time, Diablo has always felt like the red-headed stepchild to me. It's an interesting world we find ourselves living in. Love the show, and as always, feel free to read this out in the weirdest voice you can find and choose to do so. Thanks, Christian, aka Kittigree.
Okay, well done.
Wait, hang on. Does an agent listen to this show? Can we get John an agent? And
Does it need an agent, you
Can he
think?
work in a cartoon? Yeah, I mean he's good.
Yeah, I agree. He's got
we
great
got
range.
nothing on him, Scott. Like he's so good.
I
Like,
agree. His voice range stuff is some of the best. That's why if we ever do some like we get to animated core shit, John's getting a heavy workload. That's what's happening there.
I apologize to people who are now requesting Kermit.
Yeah,
Maybe
they may
next time
want
we'll
Kermit
read
in
it as
general
Kermit.
every time. Oh yeah, Marvin the Martian, a little bit. I heard that. Nat in the chat said. I agree with that. Okay, so to answer this question, it depends on your perspective. I never saw Diablo as the
Did anybody
redheaded
follow
stepchild.
that, or was everybody just focused on the voice?
No,
Well,
I followed it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
followed it
Talk
pretty
to
good.
yourself 10 years ago and be like, "Don't worry, dude. Blizzard 4 is going to be amazing." Or
I mean,
Diablo 4.
I think that this is a weird perspective because Diablo's always been my favorite thing Blizzard does ever since the beginning. That's what got me in. So I've loved Warcraft. I've loved World of Warcraft. I've loved StarCraft, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, Diablo was always what I was waiting for. So it's the opposite for me. It's not the redheaded stepchild. It's the good-looking, awesome one that got great grades and is going to marry the perfect girl and go on to college and then retire me. That's the kid. That's the kid Diablo is. So for me, it's the flip. If you had asked me 10 years ago if it would, first of all, saying it's overtaking Warcraft as Blizzard's premier game,
Yeah, I don't
online
think so.
RPG experience, I don't think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's having its day in the sun. I don't think it. I think World of Warcraft is the juggernaut.
Yeah, but I don't think it was ever a redheaded stepchild. I mean, if Diablo was the juggernaut from
We've probably said stuff like that though, because it feels like it's treated that way sometimes,
yeah.
or its players are, but I would say it'd be nice to go back in time and tell old me, like, first of all, Reaper of Souls is the last expansion pack, and they're not going to say shit, so, get over it. And in 10 years, Diablo 4 will be a lot of fun, and you'll enjoy it.
I love this. As Bo is now, here we are a day into Diablo 4, and Bo has still got grievances about 3's unannounced expansion.
Yeah.
No, I do too. Yeah,
They should have just said
it
that, like, at
sucks.
some point, even at 5 years after, like, yo, we're not making another X pack. Like, I just feel like they never really said it. Jason Schreier confirmed it in his article.
Oh,
They
yeah.
never really
They
said
never
it.
really
And
said it out loud. Yeah.
I always just kind of hated that because it was like, just say it, bro.
It felt like there
Just
needed to
saying.
be another one. It felt unfulfilled. Like I 100% agree. And as much as people are rightfully dunking on the Overwatch announcement of no PvE content, I think it's better that they said something than just was like PvE coming, and then like, hey guys, here's Overwatch 3.
Just ignoring
Moving
it.
You're
the
right.
Payload again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a bit petty, but it's important.
I don't
No,
think it's,
I
I don't think it's
agree with
petty.
it.
I actually agree with it too. But
But I'll say this for me, like Diablo was the franchise that got me into Blizzard games.
same.
So to me, Diablo has always been the more prestigious game because it was my gateway to it. And has always, like, the thing that got me to play World of Warcraft was somebody saying, you'll like it. It's kind of like playing an MMO version of Diablo, is what somebody described it to me as.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got in and started playing it, and my little armor thing, when my durability got low, popped up, and it looked like the Diablo icon that was, whenever your armor got bad in Diablo, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Diablo. Like, that's what got me into it. Was the more Diablo it was like, the more excited I was about it. And it has always been, with the exception of Immortal, something I've been interested in every time they talk about it. I still remember waking up insanely early after Blizzard had been teasing an announcement, and in my heart I was like, please let it be Diablo 3. Please let it be Diablo 3. Please let it be Diablo 3. But they were doing this cagey thing, and it looked like it was going to be like a Warcraft thing, because it looked like Wrath of the Lich King runes and stuff on the tease leading up to the announcement.
Yeah.
And then it was Diablo 3, and I remember just being so damn excited. And then I was like, then I realized I hadn't slept the night before, and I was up insanely early, and I was just like, what have I done with my life? I just did this for a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And but I love this particular franchise within their games more than any other. So I can't speak for everyone, but to me it was never the redheaded stepchild. To me, obviously that was Heroes of the Storm. Which absolutely got treated that way.
They certainly treated it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Diablo was ever. Yeah, redheaded stepchild status was not Diablo's thing. But I'm with John. You speak for me as well, 100%. It was my gateway. It was the thing I loved the most. It was the thing that I lamented the most when I first got into World of Warcraft, which I came to understand why it was different very quickly. But initially I was like, oh, this isn't enough like Diablo. Like, where's all the loot drops all the time? How come this stuff's not... Why am I not just going bam, 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 loot, 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 treasure, treasure, treasure? Like, it was a different dopamine hit, and it took me a little bit to get around to what that was. And now I'm fine with it. I get it. It's just, the MMO thing is a very different thing, but man, Diablo will always be my favorite series. Like, straight up, for real. I can't think of another game series I prefer over it.
Yeah, and at this point, they've solidified that legacy 4 times.
Yeah,
I think
they keep killing it. I
don't want to hear articles about how Diablo's failing.
Yeah, well, you're gonna hear things from whatever gets clicks. You'll hear that, but we'll see.
Well, I'm happy that Path of Exile's a thing too. Don't get me wrong, but Diablo's
I am too. And I'm excited for whatever they do next too, because I like competition. They'll keep Blizzard on their toes and blah 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 blah. Okay. Well, there's the end of that. Where are we now? That's it for that email. Thank you for that. It's time for that mashup. And real quick. So if you want to know how to send in your emails and your texts and all that stuff, you can do it real easy. talktothecore@gmail.com is the email way. Texting us at 801-471-0462. That's 801-410-HAMS. Just kidding. Don't do that. It won't work. 801-471-0462 is the number. You can leave a voicemail too. That's fine. We'd be happy to play them here. Some of you are a little nervous and shy about that. I totally get it. However you want to send it is fine with us. So keep those coming. Time for the mashup. Jamie put this together. The title is
I'm gonna die.
Gamer Bathwater. And we did a vote. Right now I'm at 24%. Bo is at 55% and John 21%. I voted for myself because I swear I remember saying this, but I could be wrong.
I voted for Bo. I was pretty sure this was a Bo riff.
I will not be surprised. But
really? I thought I was the only surefire no from this, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on context. That's the difficult part,
right? So we're gonna play it now. I think Bo speaks first. He feeks.
Feet first.
And then he takes the shower.
So we'll let him do that, and we'll enjoy this. Enjoy.
They used a fish in a butthole, and the problem with the fish in the butthole is that going in, it's fine, but it has scales, so when you pull it out, it rips everything out.
And don't have sex with a cat. I'm telling you right now, it's a bad idea. I don't remember that. Send these to 801-471-0462. Or, as I like to point out, it's 801-410-HAMS. Like the number 10.
That somehow made me more confused about the phone number. You did not help.
There's a guy on TikTok I follow who every day he reviews his morning pee. That's it.
I think you need to be honest with the people and say you watch it because you're worried one day he's going to rename his channel to The Morning Stream and you're ready to pursue legal action if he does.
But if you
Wait,
go to
10 hams?
10, yes. So you go 801-4, those numbers all stay. And then the 71 spells 10. Oh, wait, that's not right.
But then there's a 10 in there. You have made this way more confusing.
That's how I am with Midnight Suns. I can't explain it either. It's on sale again, even. People.
I will pull your gamer card if you don't pull mine.
That game.
Deal.
Wow, it's like a sleepover when I was 7. Just kidding. That's terrible. All right, moving on.
Wow, you had very different sleepovers than me.
10
What
hams.
the hell does 10 hams even mean? How is that simplifying it? Because people say 10 hams all the time. Like, hey, what'd you have for Thanksgiving? 10 hams. You know how it is.
Yeah, you've heard the old term. And immediately, you're going to have anal sex with Asmodan.
Well, I mean, the good news is you'll have practice fighting the hordes of evil.
Giving or receiving?
The bad news is if you're going down there with your double down, first thing you'll hear is fresh meat.
Yeah.
You'll have to deal with that guy.
Oh, but to answer Bo's question, giving or receiving, I think you should be forced to give Asmodan what he wants. He's a big dude. You could hang off of
Bo's
his nipple
looking at
rings.
him like a big beanbag.
You think his nipple rings are far enough apart I could grab him like this? Just hanging off of Asmodan's nipples?
He's really big.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
you probably could play some Bionic Commando on his nipple ring.
What? What a weird reference. Okay, here we go. We got it. 1-800-IS-10-GOB.
Nobody will forget that.
801-IS-10-NAT. 801-IS-10-INCH.
There you go.
How about this one? 801-IS-10-GOAT.
Why don't we drop the 10?
Here's what's great about DMC. If your video card breaks, you can say the words, I can't run DMC, like the rap group. I can't run DMC.
Did you just have another child and you don't know it yet? Because that was...
Well, my daughter had one 5 months ago, and that puts me on a new level of bad jokes. Anyway, continue. Oh, I got a boo in the chat. Oh man,
It was bad, Scott.
Tough crowd.
It was a long walk to a not great joke.
I don't know. Run DMC, my Adidas. You know,
Smaller indie developers that are very successful to say big giant or huge giant big giant games, big huge giant games. What are they called?
they make Hades.
Super giant.
Super giant games.
All right, I think chat room has decided, our live chat room has decided we should send hams.
They're gonna send some hams.
Okay, well now we have our next contest. Stay tuned. Next time Core gives something away, it's gonna be 10 hams.
Yeah, these are the regrets.
Maybe
we live with.
hams could be our gamer bathwater, like what we do as a product. Like we can sell hams that
Core 10 hams.
I will
We
put
only
the
sell 10 hams at once. So
No,
you
but
gotta
maybe
get a lot
we
of
will up the
hams.
price on it. I will sleep with them in my bed, and then I will send them, and they can have Bo's core ham.
Gross.
Bo's lake washed hams.
Ugh.
What kind
Wow.
of idea is that, Bo?
Yeah.
Dummy.
What the heck was that about? That's some old stuff. I don't remember any of it really, except the 10 ham stuff.
The 10 hams has lived on
Yeah.
for sure.
I should do a T-shirt or something with hams. Oh, someone in the chat said do a 10 hams
T-shirt?
print. Yeah, I don't know what it would be. You know what? I got to send art out. Maybe we'll do a 10 hams print for patron art next month. Actually, a good idea. I've been looking for an idea. That's my idea. We're doing that.
Hams. You gotta figure
Well,
out
it's
how
not
to
your
do
idea.
it.
Or it's not my idea.
I feel like
their
it's a
idea.
prompt that could be multiple things.
It could be. It could be many things. That's the problem with it. No one thinks of it as a phone number they need to call, leave a voicemail on it, or a text or whatever. It's a mess. All
I
right.
just picture it as a guy standing awkwardly, and you know the yellow font that says what the phone number is below,
Yeah.
and it's just a very convoluted 1-800-410 spelled out, the number 10 hams. It's just way too long. Clearly,
It is way too. That is 100% sure. And Jamie didn't miss a beat, man. Guy rocks.
No, that was a good one. That made me laugh a lot.
Yep, that was great. Keep those up, dude. You're the
I
best.
missed them. Thank you so much for making that.
I got to figure out a way to get him some scratch for that because I know how much work it is. We got to come up with something. Anyway,
Yeah.
Guy rocks. Let's do some. Speaking of patrons, let's shout out some new ones. We got a bunch of new ones this week. I need a sound effect for them. How about I don't know. What's this? That's lame. Why don't I have that? Okay. How about this?
Try this level now.
No. Well, that's actually not bad. Try this level now.
that's all right.
That's all right. Or maybe this. Oh no. Don't do that. That's not good. Anyway, there's your. We'll figure out something for you guys. But brand new patrons at patreon.com/core show include Connor Farron, Nicholas Carlson, Steve Mans, I guess, Joshua Pinansky. I think I got that right.
I was wondering how that was gonna come out.
Yeah.
I could see a couple ways it could go wrong, and I was just curious if you were gonna steer into it.
Yeah, I did pause there for a reason, I guess.
For somebody who has said the word creamy peen with all seriousness,
Yep. I didn't
I
know what
thought
it
this
was.
could have gone interesting.
Absolutely. Joshua Peen Askey. Smelton, Vanderson 74. That's cool. Kent Beard. That's cool. Love that. Related to who was Frank Beard was the drummer for ZZ Top, and he was the only member of ZZ Top that didn't have a beard. Isn't that weird? His last name was Beard. It's pretty weird.
The beard was in his name all along.
Yeah, it was never going to show. It was just going to be inside of him. Let's see.
what?
Mikey Balls and Kevin Bice. Or Mickey Balls. I'm not sure.
Kevin
Probably Mikey.
Balls?
Yeah, I think it's Mikey. Mikey Balls. Anyway, you guys are all rad because you joined us this week and
I don't mean to
became
laugh at
patrons.
people's last names, but like, man,
I know.
is his
Balls.
last name really Balls? or
Well,
just
No,
username?
it's Ballz. I don't think it's his last name.
No.
I think we're supposed to laugh at this one.
I think he's
okay.
dorking around. He's dorking around. But it's okay. We'll take you no matter what name you have at patreon.com/core show.
Meet Dick and open a private investigator place. Like
That's
I told
right.
you.
That's right. No commercials
Balls
ever.
investigating.
Pre-show content every week. Monthly benefits, including an upcoming John host special for the month of June. Don't know what he's doing
Oh,
yet.
that's right. That's this month.
Yeah.
Oh, I
shit,
gotta get
yeah.
my ducks in a row.
Anytime this month you want to do it, we'll get a special one-off from John. Don't know what it
Oh,
is.
boy, I forgot it was my turn.
But only
And have you-
patrons get it.
Have we told the Core listeners about Core Daily? Because not everyone is on YouTube.
We have. We talked about it last week a lot, but
Okay.
I'll do it again.
All right.
Core Daily's happening daily, Monday through Friday. It's been 2 weeks now, and it's been a blast to do these. Bo's thrown a couple of them in. I've done a bunch of them. John will have something up his sleeve soon enough, but it's a great way to do little bite-sized stuff about stuff. And went up today. If you
I'm
haven't-
really enjoying the exercise, even though it's a bit of a challenge. It kind of came out of nowhere. Like, oh, but I'm like, yeah.
yeah,
How do I talk about something for 5 minutes? And it's fun.
it is fun, right? It's good. So go check it
My-
out.
My issue is how do I talk about something for only 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's the hard bit. I tried to do it for 5 today, and I did 8.5. So,
Yeah, I think if you keep it under 10 is the goal. Maybe.
yeah, that's our goal. We just keep it short and sweet. It's just a nice little add-on. You don't even have to be a patron to catch that. That happens every day. And there's also a separate audio feed if you're an audio listener that's up on the site. You just go paste it in whatever player you're using. If you want just the audio version, we're doing that too every day. It goes up at the exact same time. So go check that out at frogpants.com/core. And patreon.com/core show is the place to support us. I think it's going to do it for us. We need Grandma, though. Grandma's going to saddle up to the counter with her little list she's been making, piddling away over there in her chair, and tell everybody what we played today. So, Grandma, take it away.
Well, despite the fact that you might think they only played Diablo 4, the boys did play other games, but yes, Diablo 4 got talked about a lot, and if you didn't remember that, then you've got bigger problems than me. But the other games that Scott played was Batboy. It's the Shovel Knight game, but they replaced the shovel with a bat. And they replaced the knight with a boy. He also played the Miasma Chronicles, which he was maybe into, like 50%.
50.
So if you heard him talk kind of interestedly about a game and said, well, I want to be all the way interested in that, that's it, the Miasma Chronicles. He also played a little bit of Speed Freaks, Bolt Gun, and Halls of Torment. John continues to watch people wrestle. He calls it playing a game. And he played the Amber Nick that people bought for him, so maybe he'll shut up about people never buying him stuff. And he's been playing Castlevania Aria of Sorrow on it.
Wow.
And Bo played Diablo 4 on the show.
Yeah.
And Bolt Gun.
Yeah. Oh, and that other one, Amaranth.
Al-
And he also... Oh, and
Elrond!
you might be saying, what the hell was that game that they talked about the title for longer than he talked about the game? It was Alaloth. If you're going to name your game, it better be pronounceable. If people can't say it, if every time you say, I'm making a game, and they say, what game are you making? And you say Alaloth, and they go, what? Can you spell it? Change your title.
If you can't say it, you can't play it. That's what I say. All right. Okay, that's it for the show. Thank you all for listening. Thanks for being here. We'll be back again next time with more. And check us out on Monday with Core Daily. I never told people where to find that. You can go to youtube.com/Scott Johnson. It's also linked on the Core page. So go check that out. It's right here where we do live shows as well. If you want to be here live, we do it on Thursdays most weeks at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. All Thursdays where there's not a Diablo 4 launch, you can count on a show. Okay? For the most part. That's going to do it for us. For me, for John, for Bo. We'll see you next time.
If you like what you just heard, there's a very good chance you will like all the shows on the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
I saved you in the mountains.
Oh, hello, Wolfie boy.